5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I stress overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yeah, the champions, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. What an amazing day it is. What a fantastic day it is to be alive. It's Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. We are living in fantastical times. There's so many amazing things going on, and we're going to try to cover as much as we possibly can today. I know I get criticized a little itsy bit from people. They think that it's kind of a now this type thing. It's just bada boom, bada bing, check this out, check that out. It is a little bit. But we're on the front lines, literally on the front lines of everything here at Paleocrat Diaries. Every single weekday from 10 to noon. I'm your host, Jeremiah Bannister. Before we move on, I want to remind everybody, make sure go to paleocratdiaries.com. This show is a production for that site. And we're going to be doing a lot more over there. In fact, we're making some decisions about social media. We're making some decisions about it. In fact, we've had people not only talk to us, of course, about Parler, and I have a Parler account, right? I have one of those. Was it technically, is it Parler or is it Parlay? I've heard it just called Parler, but that's an American thing, maybe. So I think everybody's just calling it Parler now. Huge, right? Didn't it recently go to number 1 on the App Store? Something like that. But not only that, but also a thing called MeWe. Now, I've never heard of MeWe before. And so if you guys are on MeWe in the comments, let me know. And a word real quick about the comments. Doesn't matter where you are. You may be watching on YouTube. You may be watching on Facebook. You may be watching on Periscope or Twitch. And, you know, I kind of want to do more with Twitch. I kind of want to do more with DLive. I think those are really cool communities. We're actually going to talk about kind of the future of Trumpism, the future of right-wing populism, and what those sites have to offer. So we've actually got a cool article that may end up talking a little bit about that. But no matter where you are, if you comment, we can see it. Okay, we can get it right here in the comments. And you know, yesterday I decided I was going to show it, and I think I'm going to do it right now too. And that way you can just see what I'm talking about. Let's go to the main. We'll do this one. Why not? We'll go to the circle. We will go to the circle. And I kind of dig this one. Got my red hat, by the way. One of them. I've got a visor, which I'm wearing right now. This is my Trump 2020 hat. If you're not wearing it, I strongly encourage you to do so. It's about time that we are no longer afraid. We cannot be afraid of those around us, and we need to stand up for what's true. Otherwise, we're just going to be drowned out all the time. They will have figured out, the powers that be will have figured out that all they got to do is just lie through their stinking teeth, steal elections, and bully us. And that's all they got to do, and they'll keep in power all the time. So, but as you can see here, you can see people on Facebook. You can see people on YouTube. Good morning, Brian. It's nice to see ya. Rex on Facebook. It's nice to see you. Good morning, son. Good morning, my man. Yeah, dude. Brian says straight to the dome, of course. We here at Paleocrat Diaries, we have our cups and glasses that we raise high. Some people drink tea. Some people do that. Some people raise burgers up. Right? I don't know, man. You know, I never thought about this, but did he, you know, kind of put it in a blender and dip a straw into it as he's sucking it through his straw? He says, you know, he's raising his burger high. And I'm just assuming, you know, it's a regular burger. I never thought of the possibility that maybe he's liquefying it. Yeah. Holy Faith Media, I share you to MeWe. Well, look at this. So, okay, I've already got a presence on MeWe. Look, I'm all over the place. Sometimes I don't even realize the extent of the presence. It's just true. And so you can see right there, Holy Faith Media in the comments. And yesterday, I got to say this, man. I got to say this. Is that if you go to Holy Faith Media and you watch on that site, because I've been encouraging people, you know, watch wherever you are. You know, some people, they like to have a bunch of others in the comment section. But if you want to donate to this show, and you want to make it so that we get a super chat, you can make sure, watch on my channel. That way you'll be able to do super chats on mine, okay? Because we're really close, guys. When we started, we were not close. When we started, I hadn't done stuff in years. And so we were really far away. Really far away. And we are over 75% of the way to monetization on YouTube. And so if you go to youtube.com/Paleocrat, watch it there. But if you have a question you'd like to ask or a comment you'd like to make and you want to donate to the show, you can do a super chat, and you can do that at Holy Faith Media's YouTube channel. So you can go over there. We had 2 of them yesterday. I'm so grateful for that. And that'll pop up, okay? That'll pop up in the comment section. It'll be lit up a different color, setting it apart from other people. So, got a lot of coffee today, kids. All right. How would you pronounce that, by the way? Sadhana Pragati? Hey, bro, you are awesome. We are with you in every way. I salute you, my man. A member of the wolf pack, obviously. A member of the wolf pack. Oh, man. Rex asks, is profanity allowed in this forum? It's on MeWe or on my site. You're allowed to say a naughty word. You're allowed to say, I'm not gonna go in there and block you. I mean, if that's what you're gonna ask, yeah. I would say, look, we have people who, kids who watch and mothers and stuff, and so keep it kind of tame. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Barbara says hello from Wisconsin. She's commenting on YouTube, listening from Facebook. Look at this. But on my other devices, I'm clicking like so Holy Faith Media can get credit. Have a great day. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Yes, Brad Varner, what? Is this real? Yeah, dude. It's totally real, bro. Yeah, and I just commented, put your comment right there on the internet. It's actually altogether on close to 20 different streams on, 5, 6 different platforms? So, yeah, man, you're all over there. Yeah, Brad, you are all over the place right now. I don't know if you're happy about it or upset about it. Doesn't matter. Lowell, I got to say this, man. And we'll get right cracking here in a second. But Lowell, Forrester, I am happy to see you. I know who you are. Ever since the first time I ever showed up, I think, and saw comments for Meaning of Catholic with Timothy Flanders. I'm a contributor over there. He calls me his resident Politico, right? I'm his in-house, his in-residence a political analyst. And so really, really cool guy. Love him. Great friend. But Lowell, you are awesome. And you kept me on task last time. You actually made some corrections to things that I said, as well as bringing in, I was trying to think of the guy's name. And even right now, I don't remember the guy's name. But the scholar that talked about how Google can basically manipulate minds and manipulate votes to the tune of millions, in fact, just algorithmically. And you posted that in real time. So I'm grateful. And I know Meaning of Catholic sent you. I know they sent you. Yes. From Sydney. Yes. Really, really happy. I didn't know that's where you're from. Zach, good morning. Yeah. Pragati says again, I love your energy. Man, I got flack yesterday, man. People, haters are going to hate, right? Haters are going to hate. They're going to come in and they're going to say terrible things. And I hope that you guys see that it's easy to dominate that, right? It's for many people, it's just simply, waving the flies away, right? Squashing mosquitoes, that type of thing. Because they can carry some wicked junk, right? They can carry some wicked junk. But sometimes, it's just a matter of pointing out the absurdity of what they're saying. And we try to show that in real time right here on this channel. All right. Listening from Facebook, credit to all the rest of the sites. Thank you so much. Right here. Brad says, I have so much respect for you, Jeremiah. I guess I haven't heard your views in a while. The thing is, my views, except for my views on God, my views are largely the same. I'm just simply more vocal about it. There was a long time where, I wasn't able to speak so openly about some of my beliefs. I was working at a station that I knew if I did that, I'd get in trouble. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. I talked against the women's march. I talked against, oh my gosh. I voted for Donald Trump. Once the station found out I voted for Donald Trump, I was out of there. I was called a misogynist. I was called a chauvinist. And of course, I asked the station at the time, I said, was there like somebody who called? Did you have somebody say I said something? And they said, oh, no, no, no. And in fact, they laughed about it. They laughed. And at the time, I was offended by what they said, and I've come to accept that as true, what this person said, the owner. But he told me, he said, oh, no. He said, we've never actually had a complaint about you. He said, but it's just the reality of our political situation. And I actually believe he's right. It's a tragic thing for me to admit, by the way. I wish it weren't so, but it is so. Nuri says, I'm making a music video here in Grand Rapids about how dangerous the Democratic Party is. I'm a black conservative, and I don't have many friends to play in this video. If anyone's interested and want to learn more about this rap video I'm putting together, please contact me here. Look, man, Nuri, I'm in Grand Rapids. My intro is rap. I'd play that video, by the way. I would play that video on the show. So I only meant to show you this. Oh, last one. Lowell says Robert Epstein. Robert Epstein. That's the person I was thinking about. It's the person I mentioned, the scholar talking about Google and how it can manipulate ideas and manipulate frameworks that people have when they go in to vote, up to the tune of like 3 million people or so, I think. But that shows in real time. In real time, you're able to connect with me and comment. Now, I may not answer it right away, but I don't scroll any further than where I've ended. So sometimes we have to, comments will kind of be tossed back to where they were. So, all right, my point was simply to show you there's a whole bunch of platforms, different Facebook pages. I know it says Facebook right there. There's like, 7 different Facebook pages running right now at the same time. So not sure exactly where they are. So you may be the only person in that chat, in that particular place. It's okay. Comment, and I see it all right here, and we try to get to those as much as we can. And remember, of course, you can also add, you can pray for Kathleen, her nephew, Aaron. He's very sick, needs a miracle. So make sure to keep Aaron today in your prayers. All righty. Well, look, guys, we are going to have a really, really amazing show. In fact, we just got to get started right now. We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. I'm not even going to switch. You know what? No. I'll switch out for a second. I'll switch out. We got to do this at the beginning. Okay. Let's see here. Transition over. Okay. So, all right. Oh, boy. Raise that glass high. Today we're going to howl at the sun. We're not going to do it quite yet. We're going to do it in between because we got some funny stories we want to talk about first, and then we're going to get serious. And when we do, man, you got to do a lot of the straight to the dome, right? Drink that coffee, drink that tea, drink it deep. And if you've got a straw, drink it through a straw. It helps. It helps, man. Yeah. Oh, love it. Okay, Mom. And this one right here, it looks like it's for the housewives. We got a lot of those. We got a lot of the ladies. They love to watch this show, And by the way, for people who are just tuning in, the first half, it's a morning show, man. We're having a fun time. It's a little political sometimes. And we talk, politics a little bit, like, people might ask questions or whatever, and we'll talk about that. But it's a lot of fun stories, In fact, I have a whole bunch. I'd almost dare to say maybe 35, 40% of the audience, that's what they tune in for. They like to wake up in the morning. They like to wake up giggling and laughing, having a blast, having a super duper fun time. And then they got to go, or maybe they're at work and they can't have, Captain Hair on Fire over here growling into a microphone with all their people around. You know what I'm saying? All the people at work. Although I encourage you to do it and put it on just loud enough that it's kind of subliminal. It'll help, believe me. Okay, Mom asked to tone down daughter's elaborate lunch as it makes kids feel bad. Have you guys ever had anything like that happen to you? Have you ever had, a teacher or principal call and they're like, hey, look, you have these very heartfelt and obviously, very loving bags of lunch that you send with the kids. It's too much. It's just too much. You got to tone it down. It's by Paige Holland over at mir.co.uk. Oh, boy. Let's see. A mom has been asked by a teacher to tone down the elaborate packed lunches that she makes for her daughter as they make other children feel bad. Okay. How do you know that, by the way? Are kids coming? I mean, it's possible. It's possible, come on, man. I mean, that's like telling kids, don't wear a pair of gerbos to school because the guy in the corduroys over there is crying. And that's a true story, by the way. It's actually personal. I'm the kid in the gerbos that tried to French roll my pants when I was younger. I wasn't wearing the gerbos. I'm so sorry. I'm wearing the corduroys. I'm the kid in corduroys. The really thick ones, too. Not like the thin ones. I'm talking the real thick corduroys. Trying to French roll my pants. Oh, man, dude, the bottom was so thick. Oh, man, I looked really stupid. Oh, I looked real dumb, dude. It was bad. It was bad. And I'd cry, but I'd never be like, tell those kids not to wear those gerbos. And if I did, my teacher would probably say, don't worry, they're going to regret it. They're pleated jeans on men. Tapered at the bottom. French rolled, dude, with no socks. Yeah, you're probably not going to love pictures of that, especially if you're wearing aqua shoes. Remember that? Remember that? Wearing some aqua shoes with your French rolled gerbos. Maybe one of those belly shirts. Oh, yeah. The woman's husband explained, my kid is 8. Long story short, my wife tries to make really fun lunches for my daughter. She follows a couple of those school lunches pages on Instagram for inspiration or whatever. It's important to us that her child likes her lunch and that she's happy, right? Doesn't that just make sense? Doesn't it make sense? And how many of you do that? How many of you follow that? I know people who follow different. My wife, she follows pages that talk about like do-it-yourself things to make your yard and your house better. How to make cabinets for cheap and stuff like that look totally awesome, and how to decorate and everything. And so, that's kind of what that is. And she really enjoys that. I have another friend. She's a painter, right? Mary Lutsky. She's an awesome person, by the way. She's the voice in the intro to Paleo Cheese. We got to thank her for that, by the way. And if you haven't seen Paleo Cheese, I have a couple clips yesterday at the beginning of the show. I had 3 clips, and they're hilarious. You got to check those out later. But she follows a bunch of pages to do with painting. So this makes sense. Oh, look. Okay. So it's a stock image. I thought that would be like, that's what do they have actual images of this? Okay. I don't know. My daughter's teacher called and left a message asking that we simplify our lunches and do the typical sandwich thing because other kids don't have as elaborate as lunches as it might make them feel bad. They got to get over it, man. Dude, look, these schools, got to teach these kids, man. They got to teach them, because if this is the kind of thing that they're like, look, this is an aggression that we simply can't stand for. We're basically prepping kids to live in a world. I mean, maybe this is what we're going through with COVID, where we're all in bubbles and stuff. We're all in bubble wrap. Oh. So he decided to send them a very strong worded email. He said, no, we won't. And that I really don't care. And that if other kids get upset, then maybe it would be a good teaching moment for her. Right? So, I mean, doesn't that make sense? I'm with the guy. But someone admitted in the comments. What do you guys feel about that, by the way? Am I like way off here? Am I way off? What kind of, are you guys angry about that? See, a third admitted, I'm the broke kid that had that had to sit next to the rich kids whose parents could afford to pack them nice lunches. It sucked, yeah. But I learned that everyone comes from different financial situations, and that nicely packed lunches were something actually to be grateful for. I aspired one day to be able to do for my kids what my parents couldn't do for me. Look, I know he kind of, love covers a multitude of these sins, you know what I'm saying? And so he's forgiving his parents, because it's not that his parents couldn't. They just didn't want to. They didn't want to. They're like, look, we're sending him with just a regular lunch. Maybe with his sister, they're like, we do the nice lunches for her. Shh, keep it between the two of us. We don't want, him to know. Poor guy. Dude, Zuckerberg knows that. Zuckerberg knows all about that story. He's peeking in on the emails, and he's like, dude, yeah, look, your mom just didn't like you. Your mom didn't like you. Another one said, I could see the teacher being upset if it's just completely unhealthy, like the lunchbox was filled with candy or a few bags of chips. Yeah, okay, sending your kid to school And you like open up, you're like, what do you have for lunch, Jimmy? And he's like, oh, I got a bunch of candy bars. Oh my gosh, yeah. That would be bad. But the fact that it's just decent food, to be fun, I don't think this should be any sort of issue. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? I'm with the dad on that. What's this? Man catches 18 uncooked eggs in his mouth for Guinness record. Dude, who cares, man? Who cares? Dude, look at this guy. What a weirdo. What a weird guy. Let's see. In Idaho, man. Dude, no. No. It's David Rush. It's David Rush again. No, dude, this guy, he just won't quit. He just won't quit. What's next? Marbles. You know what I mean? Softballs. How many softballs can I catch? Let's go try. How many billiard balls? Throw it at me. Oh. He's the guy that did the ping pong balls, right? And what was the other thing he did? Didn't we see it recently? Was it yesterday? Same guy? This guy. He's out of control, dude. He's catching, these are uncooked ones. Maybe he's already broken the record for cooked eggs. That's what I'm saying. This is a joke at this point. This guy. Oh, he does this to promote STEM education. No, he's not. He's doing it for the fame and the fortune. Look at him. Look at his house. Look at his house. And look at the socks. I mean, he's probably paying for the dude's socks over there. Those are fancy socks. Well, in fairness, he's not wearing socks. That's kind of gross, by the way, dude. It's kind of gross. If you're going to do this kind of thing, you should at least wear a pair of socks. Oh, yeah, man. Just not right. Maybe this guy didn't have any socks, and he's like, look, you need to wear socks to step on my carpet. You need to. And so he's like, well, I don't have any. He said, well, I've only got one pair. I'll share. So maybe he's a really nice guy. But no matter what, I'm not even going to talk about this, dude. No, I'm done. I'm done with you, David Rush. I am done with you. Oh, 6.5 feet away. Why not 6.6? I'm telling you, that's what he's going to do next. He's going to be like, I did it at 6.5 feet. I'm going at 6.6. I'm going to do it at 6.6. 6.6 feet away for a new record. I think it's like tattoos, guys. I think it's like tattoos. It's like hard drugs and stuff like that. These people, they start breaking Guinness records, dude, and next thing you know, they just can't stop. They're just Oh my gosh, dude. We're not going to talk about that anymore. No more. What's this? Man asks for no salad in McDonald's burger, but when it arrives, he's devastated. See, I think we're looking at a copycat. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this? It's a copycat. We had the one lady. She was pretty hammered, remember? And she ordered. We wondered for a second, is this lady, what's going on with her? Was she driving around? Because they admitted they were drunk. Her and her husband. They admitted they were wasted. And all she got, what was it that she got? It wasn't even a burger, was it? Was it just a bun? Or just lettuce? A big box of lettuce? I mean, I forget what it was. It was something really dumb. And they went through and ordered it, things like that. So a man asks for no salad in McDonald's burger. Now, maybe this is one of those, ways that British people aren't really good at English and stuff. But they don't put salad in McDonald's burgers. They just don't. I think you mean lettuce. It's not a salad. Who wrote that? Oh, Paige Holland? Really? Paige Holland? Showbiz audience writer? Yeah, thing is, we need to let Paige Holland know they don't put salad in McDonald's burgers. That's the other thing. In it? In Grand Rapids, we have these stuffed burgers, right? And so they stuff the burger, before they lay it all out and everything. They stuff with all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's delicious. Now, what's the name of that place, by the way? Really, really, really good burgers, man, in Grand Rapids. In fact, won awards. Very delicious food. But I don't think McDonald's is doing that. in their frozen their frozen pre-cooked burgers, they like break out the frozen patty and they're like trying to smush salad on it. Dude, that doesn't work. We all know that. We've all tried it, right? Have you guys tried that? Let's see. The devastated man was exposed by his wife on Facebook after he accidentally removed one too many ingredients from the burger he was ordering from McDonald's. Okay, we're going to find out. We're going to find out if this is a copycat. So you guys got to put on your thinking cap, right? Get the monocle out because we're going to be looking at this to find out if, in fact, this guy's just a copycat. Is that all this is? And maybe the wife is. She saw this and thought, you know, I saw somebody share a link to Paleocrat Diaries, and it had this thing about this funny drunk person and stuff, and so we're going to do the same thing, probably. A man's unconventional McDonald's order has left people online in hysterics. Didn't she say stitches last time? Left him in stitches. No. The picky eater's wife explained that he was trying to remove the salad from the chicken burger. A chicken burger? Well, okay. He was ordering from Uber Eats, but he ended up accidentally removing almost everything else, with the only ingredient remaining being ketchup. First thing, guys, it's not impossible, right? But this seems to be a clue, at least a possibility, and in the world, a probability that this is rigged. Why do I say that? Because he had ketchup on a chicken burger. Now, here's the thing. I happen to like ketchup and chicken. I've liked that since the days going back in Roy Rogers, dude, trying to eat like my dad. My dad would get a big old box, and I'm like, when I grow up, I'm going to do that too. Not realizing, dude, the kind of fatness, that ends up resulting in. You know, but I always, ketchup on everything, dude. Ketchup, well, almost everything. But, ketchup, macaroni, and cheese. Oh, I was a ketchup fanatic, Not anymore. I really rarely ever use ketchup, to be really frank. And when I do, it's normally mixed with mayonnaise. They call that fry sauce here in the United States. It's delicious, by the way. So, but he ended up removing almost everything except the ketchup. So we're kind of wondering, he's either a weird dude or this is a lie. One of the two. Weird dude or this is a lie. She wrote, my husband just ordered McDonald's from Uber Eats. He unticked all the salad options. There are no salad options, man. There's no salad options. You're lying to everybody. This is fake, dude. This is fake. It doesn't say salad options. Oh. We need fact checkers, man. In England, are people watching right now? In England, I need your help on this. Please tell me that McDonald's, right, is not playing Mr. Potato Head with language, calling stuff that you put on burgers salad. Please tell me that they're still calling it lettuce, dude. And condiments, not salad dressing. I know that some people like to pretend that those are the same thing. They're not. Oh. Yeah. He unticked all of them because he doesn't like it. Without realizing he unticked the bread bun and chicken, too. You're lying. I'm telling you, dude, I know it. I know it. These people, they are lying about it. Oh, look at this guy's face. First, okay. Based on his face, dude, is this real or is this fake? I mean, does he look genuinely sad? Or is it more like he's sad because of the goatee? Because that goatee is not the best. I'm just telling you. The stash, the goatee. Maybe he's got one of those, problems where he can't grow facial hair in other places and stuff. And he's stuck with kind of the Scooby-Doo Shaggy thing happening. That's like really 90s, man. And even the quality of the picture kind of looks a little bit like maybe it's from the 90s. Oh, here he goes. Okay. Okay, yeah, all right. What do you guys think, man? True or false? What's going on with this? All right, we got another story here. Actually, let's go ahead and check the comments real quick. We're going to check those before we continue moving on. Not very long, though. Not very long. Yeah, Greg says, God bless warrior. Yes, man. In the battle every single day, buddy. Holy Faith Media. Yes, Jeremiah, we can set you up to live stream on your website. Talk app. Dude. Yeah, bro. Woo! That's the way to go, man. We got to do it, dude. Oh, yes. Yes, dude, I'm so happy about that. I love, by the way, Holy Faith Media, if you're not subscribed to that, you have to. You got to do it, man. There's a bunch of really great shows. A bunch of really great shows on that channel. And, the thing is, it all benefits all of us, in the general way, of course, but also in this specific way, right? It helps the other channels, and what helps the other channels helps the message. What helps the message helps me, right? And so what I say helps them. We're all helping each other. We are all helping each other. Michael says, good morning, getting ready for Mass. Dude, yes, please. Pray for the intentions. Pray for the intentions of the Pope. Pray for the intentions also of all of those fighting tooth and nail to overcome the wicked satanic corruption going on in the United States, being spearheaded by the Democratic Party. So please help us on that score. Pray for us. We definitely appreciate that. Sarup, democracy is not the solution. It is just a Freemasonic plot to enslave us to a majority they fabricate. Look, I'm actually not the biggest fan of democracy. I'm not. That's why I'm quite glad that we are a republic. And I lament the different ways that we've become less of a republic and more of a democracy. Democracies, I'm with the founding fathers on that. That's the way to go, man. It is the way to go. Rex says this political stage is such a charade. Do you guys say charade or charade? What do you guys say? And the whole world knows it and is watching. Many of our enemies are laughing at our stupidity. The EU is the new communism, and they're laughing their butts off at us. This election is bullcrap. It is. It is. And we're going to go over this because there's going to be people in the comments who are going to be like, look, man, you've really gone over the deep, off the deep end, Jeremiah. You're way out in left field. Here's the thing. And we dealt with this yesterday. We dealt with the people, the low information people, who like the horse blinders, and those individuals will be like, there's no evidence, you have no evidence, and my show is just basically turned into nothing but this wild one after another example after example after example of evidence. Okay, so that's and I don't play around with things. I don't play around with things that you can't go very far with or you can't verify. That's why I didn't say that the Sharpie thing was wrong. I said I wasn't going to talk about it unless people brought me more information. More than just somebody down in Texas who said in the past we had some issues with that. Right? Because I think we've actually used them more than 1 year here. And so you got to just say. Let's see. Kinder says, why can't Trump enter the White House? Is he not able to? He's the president. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Yeah. But I'm really grateful you commented, by the way. And if you see that little purple mark, what is that? Is that Twitch? And Bethany, good morning. Yes, man. Yes, good morning to you. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely, yes, I love that. You always do smiley faces and strength, man. Yes, smiley faces and strength. Never give up. Keep on smiling. That's what we talk about here. And lastly, Zach, AOC is keeping a list of Trump supporters. Look, it's not just her. It is not just her. All right. Speaking of something similar to what AOC is doing, gross images show you why you should always close the toilet lid when you flush. Why are you guys showing me this? Why do you want me to view this? What is the point of this, guys? Oh, man. Yeah, okay. Harpic has warned that flushing a toilet with the lid open can propel harmful droplets. Dude, no. Dude, no. 6 feet away. It can land on your skin. We need to have those like selfie sticks that can go 6 feet so that men don't have to do that. They're like, look, I refuse. I'm not going to close the lid. I'm going to buy a selfie stick that extends 6 feet and I'm going to flush from that far away. And then, tell the kids to mop the floor. Luke Matthews. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, research found that more than half of Brits don't close the toilet. Do you guys do that? Be honest, guys. Do you do that? In fact, let me ask you this. Do you guys lift the lid? Because, see, I think that's really gross. I mean, we might need, baby wipes or something. Some kind of, rubber glove to wear. Maybe get a rubber chicken and hold on to that, to divide the bottom of the lid. Because, dude, the bottom of the lid is always just nasty. I'm sorry to tell you. You all know that. You all have an idea. Let's see. To highlight the dangers, Harpic used high-speed specialist camera technology to show that flushing a toilet without closing the lid can propel droplets. I'm glad they didn't say like particulates. Containing bacteria and viruses onto surfaces in your bathroom up to 6 feet away. Look at these colorful fireworks. Dang. Okay, dude, is this real? What do you guys think? Is that real? Or is this, I mean, look, who has flushed their toilet and had that? Other than the guy that we talked about yesterday that was duped. He was duped into buying one of those Aladdin, the Aladdin lamps. Remember that? Yeah, he bought an Aladdin lamp. He's like, hey, man, I bought a lamp with the genie. The genie even came out. These people made it happen. And it's like, no, it didn't, dude. And he's a doctor. A doctor of what? Oh, my gosh, man. Do not go to that doctor, by the way, guys. He's done forever. If you get duped, if you're a doctor and you get duped by the idea that there is a genie coming out of the lamp and that these guys are trying to sell you Aladdin's actual lamp, don't believe it, dude. How am I even having this conversation? How are we even having this? But I thought it was real. No, it was not. It is not real. Believe me, dude. And look at this. There's no way. Have you guys ever seen anything like that come out of your toilet? I have not. And I have had some very amazing and, well, very interesting, movements. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. I mean, what's that ghosty thing? It's like ectoplasm, dude. What is this, Ghostbusters? And come on, like we wouldn't feel that. Look at all those droplets, man. It's like some kind of crazy, maybe this right here is Aladdin's lamp. Have you thought about that? Oh, we got to go find that guy. Tell him, say, look, for $1,000, I can sell this to you. It's obvious. I mean, look at it. It's obviously magical. Dude, this would be on every ghost hunter show. This is obviously so fake. Look at it. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes this. Look at all the smoke coming out. It's like a dragon, dude. And look at the droplets and particulates flying all over the place. That's impossible. You would feel, although in fairness, sometimes you feel it a little bit. But you don't feel the smoky smoke. Look at the smoky smoke. It's like Pete's Dragon in there, man. This is old Puff. Puff the Magic Dragon. He's just gotten older. It's like he's got his mouth open. That's all this is. Puff the Magic Dragon has his mouth open. Or maybe by the look of it, it's got those two. I was going to say Puff, it looks like he's lost all of his teeth. But look, you see these two little teeth? You see those on the lid there? You see that? It's probably just a hungry hippo piece that has just been transformed to look like this. With little itsy, little itsy toys of some sinks and toilet paper roll. Yeah, there's no way this is real. There's no way. All right, guys, seriously, you gotta flush. You gotta do the flush thing. You gotta do the flush. Well, I was gonna talk about hikers find a message dropped by carrier pigeon in 1910. I think I'm actually gonna hold off on that, guys. We may have cut off the enemy before they got that message. I mean, it's a long time, right? But it appears anyway. It appears that we have stopped the animal uprising a little bit. I mean, this is just one of the many battles in the war against the animals that are uprising here in 2020. They're savages, man. They are savages, and it's all over the planet. We're on the ball. We talk about this every single day. A little bit. I think we've missed a couple days. I think we have. I think we've missed maybe a day or two. But by and large, we keep you guys completely abreast. We are on the front lines, not only of everything, and by everything we mean everything, including the great animal uprising of 2020. But it seems like hikers have found this message dropped by a carrier pigeon in 1910. I'll cover that tomorrow. I will cover that tomorrow. What's this? Oh, Babylon Bee. Okay, I got a little flack, man. People are like, why aren't you sharing Babylon Bee, dude? I said, I like it, but I'm always divided because, the first half, I mean, these are news sources and stuff, but it's meant to, be funny. But Babylon Bee, I mean, this is hard-hitting investigative news. I mean, think about this. Just think about it. In victory speech, Biden assures Americans that elections were mostly legitimate. We all know this. We all know. Yeah, from his bunker. By the way, that was amazing if you think about it. The level of propaganda that was. Not only all the Jeeps with nobody, was anybody even in the Jeeps at all? Was there anyone there? I know that's a crazy question to ask, but there was no, they had the lawn chairs out in the back of all of these Jeeps. Nobody was sitting in any of the lawn chairs. Stunning. He wasn't even on the stage. That's just so bizarre, dude. I'm telling you, that's like, what is that? What is that crap? Yeah, so mostly legitimate. Very legitimate president-elect. And is he still president? He's not even president-elect. I don't even like using that phrase. Refuse to use it. Refuse to use it because they can LARP all they want. But the thing is, so long as something is contested, the very definition, by the way, if you go online, the very definition of president-elect would make it that he is not president-elect. Not yet. And we'll see how that turns out. We are marching forward with that, and we'll see you in court, cutie pie. So, assured all Americans in his victory speech last Saturday night that the elections held nationwide were mostly legitimate. His comments come as a rebuke to those who were saying totally baseless things about voter fraud, illegal ballots being counted, and poll workers counting ballots in a boarded-up building with no oversight. All of those things, by the way, are true. Whether or not, and this is the thing, if people want to debate that, they can debate that. I don't want to get too political here. It's a little bit, right, obviously. But if people want to say that, well, the proof is not good enough to show widespread. I saw, what is it, Stephanopoulos? I always want to say Snuffleupagus, but Stephanopoulos, right? Stephanopoulos pulled that stunt yesterday, pretending to be a journalist. He's sitting there, he's got his smirk on, looking, like the Grinch kind of thing. Oh, man. And he's talking to the governor. Where is she from, man? Is it Montana? Where is she from? She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. Love her. But anyway, he's talking to her. And, he's saying, well, it's not sufficient to show widespread problems. So now it's at least shifted a little bit from no evidence to, well, it's a lot of isolated evidence. At least one of those is intellectually kind of honest. Quote, it's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, to lower the temperature, to see each other, to listen to each other again, Biden said. Well, everyone who accepts this totally legit election, I mean, come on, man. Everything was by the book. Yeah, everything was by the book, dude. All election experts and hosts from CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NPR, and the AP immediately backed up every point of Joe Biden's speech, condemning the few scattered millions of people who still had some lingering doubts. Yeah, they're going to do that, by the way. We're going to talk a lot more about that. Quote, you want to know how I know those stories about tabulation software glitches and dead people voting are part of a disinformation campaign? Asked CNN's Brian Stelter on his program Unreliable Sources. Facebook and Twitter are censoring them. That's how you know what's real and what's not. He's like that lady we showed the video from the haunted house, where she shows the camera around the corner up the stairs to see if there are any floating orbs. And she says to the camera, this is how I decide if I sleep upstairs or downstairs. Yeah, Mr. Brian Stelter, he's sitting there. You want to know how I know those stories about tabulation software glitches and dead people voting are part of disinformation campaigns? Facebook and Twitter are censoring them. That's how he knows what's real and what's not. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha loud and clear. What's this? Oh, another Babylon Bee. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Wait, what is it? Holy cow. Yeah, dude. Trump quickly identifies as woman. So Kamala Harris can't claim to be the first female president. Dude, look at his face. Look at his face, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is great. Oh my god. The purple over the eyes. Oh my gosh, man. Oh, that is hilarious, dude. Donna. Hello, Donna, with the heart symbol. In a genius move, Trump has stopped Kamala Harris from becoming the first female president by identifying as a female himself. Quote, I am now a woman, Trump announced to reporters in the White House press room. My name is now Donna Trump, and I'm the first female president. I'm a very pretty lady president. I win. Yeah, okay. Who wrote this, by the way? Oh, it just it doesn't say. Maybe at the bottom. Let's see. Liberals are outraged that Donald Trump has outsmarted them by stealing this historic moment away from Kamala Harris. They responded by shouting and snarling and throwing their notebooks, enraged that Trump had owned them one last time. I just can't, said Richard Maddow on her show that evening. By the way, just has anybody noticed, like, I try to have an assortment of clothes, right? I've got all different colors, all different, everything. I go, sometimes it's casual, sometimes it's a little bit more serious. I haven't worn a tuxedo and a monocle yet, but I'm on my way, right? Maybe a scuba outfit one day, maybe an astronaut outfit. I wore a sombrero. I did that one time. I try to have fun with this. She is like Inspector Gadget. She's like Inspector Gadget, dude. Every single day, it's the same dumb outfit. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on. It's not even like, it doesn't make her look very great. Let's just put it that way. It might also be the hair. It might be the, what do they call it? Giraffe-intitis of the neck or something. I forget what they call that. I think it is giraffe-intitis. I think that is actually, I think it's the medical word for it. I really do. You should look it up. Let me know in the comments section. It also might be the fact that she's demonic and, really struggling with grotesque sins and stuff like that. And trying to destroy America and stuff. That might make her unattractive, probably. But I feel like Trump's just messing with us at this point. Plus, I'm now confused about throwing America's first transgender president out of the office. No, they wouldn't. That, by the way, that's how you know this is all fake news. That's the only way. I was believing this story up to that point. And I thought, no, they wouldn't have any problem with that. They don't have any problem with that. Because just like with women, they don't believe all women. They believe all women who like to, on the babies and stuff. They believe in those women. They believe in women that support Biden. They don't believe in the 8 women that accused Biden, of sexual problems and stuff. They didn't believe the women who accused Bill Clinton and stuff like that. They don't believe those women. And they don't support women. They say support women. And then you have Amy Coney Barrett, and you have her, and they're like, oh no, not her. She's not the kind of woman we're talking about. And you're like, oh, so women's not women. Obviously, duh. But they would have no problem doing that. So this is obviously fake. I believe the rest of the story. Feminists are also furious since they can no longer criticize Donald Trump for being loud, abrasive, bossy, and brash. Because he's a nasty woman. He's a nasty woman. Oh, man, yeah. Women who wear shirts that say nasty woman, are they just basically saying that they are down with killing babies and stuff? Like, what do they mean by that? Like, because at that point they're like, oh, I'm a nasty woman. I think a lot of them might think it's just cool, but I think a lot of them also, they're really into that WAP crap, and they're real perverted, probably struggling with porn addiction stuff, contracepting their kids and everything. So I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Let me know. We'll talk about that one tomorrow. Okay, last funny story. Exotic lizard. And hey, look, guys, I'm kind of divided over this. Man. Exotic lizard rescued after 3 days on power line. Look at that little bugger. What do you guys think about this? We've talked about the animal uprising. Have we talked about lizards? I have a feeling we did, man. Because I thought I talked about lizards, man, when I was talking about, like, piranhas and stuff. And I think I mentioned that my buddy had a chameleon, right? Or was it a chameleon? What do you have, man? Yeah, he had a chameleon, yeah. Animal rescuers in Pennsylvania said a chameleon was rescued after being stranded on a power line for 3 days. Dude, that is devastating. That's really sad. In Pennsylvania, man, what's that bugger doing? He's got to be a pet, right? Yeah, the Peninsula Humane Society and SPCA said personnel responded to a neighborhood in Daly City where a caller reported an exotic lizard had been clinging to a power line for 3 days. Dude, that is unbelievable. That bugger was not letting go. He's holding on for life. Broken Bells was playing in his head. Just holding on for life, dude. Holding on for life. I love that song, by the way. I can actually sing it. I can sing it. I can nail it. I can nail it. It's tough, man. It's tough. You should hear it. It's got some range. He's got that whole, oh my gosh, man. what'd you call it? Falsetto? Is that what that's called? The organization said officials spoke with an electrical line worker to develop a plan to rescue the chameleon. A rescuer ended up using a wooden-handled tool to capture the chameleon in a net. Officials said the lizard attempted to cling to the line, but was eventually pulled free and brought back to the ground. Apparently, it's now in the care of the Humane Society and SPCA, which said the animal is believed to be an escaped pet or an escapee from a pet store. Dude, this is why I'm divided. You don't know. At least, when they're pets like that, they're contained. They're in these containers. You normally aren't just like pulling them out all the time, playing with them. And although I've seen it. People get the chameleon out and they rub its belly and stuff and play with it. I don't know how people do that. I've seen people do that with snakes, piranhas, Gucci goo kind of thing. What? It's a lizard. It's a lizard, dude. Since these lizards are native only to Africa, the chameleon is either someone's exact. Oh, so it's obviously not. I said I think it's got to be a pet. No, really? Okay, maybe we don't know. This is what I'm saying, guys. We jump to these ideas like they're foregone conclusions. We don't even anticipate the possibility that maybe that bugger was traveling across the Atlantic Ocean. Did you ever wonder that? We use the phrase invasive species for a reason. That's how it happens, dude. That's how it happens. This is an invasion, probably. To date, we haven't found a lost report that fits this little animal, but we're well prepared to find a suitable home should that prove necessary. Guys, I want to see, where did that bugger find a home? Have we contained it? Or is it possible that he's still roaming around, right? Maybe he was sending signals. You don't even know. You don't know. Are there any scientific studies on whether or not chameleons, if they lay on, power lines like that they can't send signals? Have you ever thought about that? Probably not. You're spending too much time thinking about how to break another world record with eggs or ping pong balls or breaking coconuts with your eyes blindfolded. We are amusing ourselves to death as the animal world is creeping in all around us. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Everything we talk about here, guys, is totally 100% fact. Yeah, definitely fact. All right, we're going back to the comments, and then we're going to move on. We're coming into the second hour. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes. And grandmothers watch the young too. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. Yeah, grandmothers watch the young. I don't want, look, I said like, housewives and stuff. It's not just housewives, right? We got a lot of ladies. We got a lot of ladies that watch this show, and from all different ages, right? All different demographics. We are very grateful. In fact, we have a significant number of ladies that tune into this program. I think it's because it's fun. It's fun and it's smart. It's hardcore. And it's got a good-looking host, I guess. That's I've heard rumors about that guy. I don't know about him. Seems like he's got a little bit of charisma, maybe. A little bit of charisma. All right, man. Let's see here. The lady was in Toronto, and she just got a ketchup packet. Okay, so in Toronto. So she wasn't in England. We're talking about the oh no, you're right. Okay, so the lady that just got the ketchup packet, right? And that was the one where she was drunk and she was ordering and she basically scrubbed everything else, right? Everything on the list except for a ketchup packet, and they billed her, right? That was in Toronto. We got to find out, man. We got to find out if in Toronto, I mean, they still have a lot of that hangover. The bad English that came over from England and stuff. And they got some of that going on. Do they call it salad up there? In fact, the manager of the show, he would know. Please don't let me down, by the way, Jonathan. Please don't let me down, dude. Do they call lettuce salad? Is that what they call that, man? Salad is a thing, dude. It's lettuce is its own thing. That's like calling a band a guitar. Because, a band would have a number of different instruments put together to make it that, right? You can't just say, "Oh, look, here is the lettuce." No, that's a salad. No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Bringing it to your attention that people cannot click the like button on some of your YouTube channels. Oh no. Which one? Is it on mine, by the way? Which YouTube channels? Which YouTube channels? Is it Paleocrat, Holy Faith Media? What is it? Oh, it's been cleared up, but I think it has to be brought to attention. Okay. We get people trying to flag us all the time. And that's why, look, you guys got to be aware. In fact, you've got to go to paleocratdiaries.com. You just simply have to do it. And the reason why you've got to do it is because oh boy here is putting himself out on the line every single day. I'm putting myself out there every day. I'm refusing to cower. I'm refusing to play the game, the multitude of games that this world wants us to play. And oftentimes that puts me in a place where people are going to be like, dude, you're a hate monger. No, I'm not. You're a weirdo. In fact, you're not a weirdo. You're not just a weirdo. You may, in fact, be oppressed demonically. You may actually have satanic ideas, right? This deconstructionist worldview. It's right out of the abyss, man. And that's where we're going. And that's why they can't, these utopians, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing when somebody, these people have an idea for what they want the world to be like, and they can't find a historical precedent for it. It's just completely whole cloth. It's this utopian scheme. Oh, it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like that, and it's not based on anything in history because, history was just rife with all the isms that they like to accuse us of. It's bad. Brian says the bottom of the toilet lids gets gross. Dude, always, man. I have, it's one of those things I really, all the ladies, I can imagine, my wife tells me, you gotta lift the lid. And I get it. I get why she's saying that. It's like one of those things you either have to lift the lid or sit down to go. And I'm like, I don't think either of those options are very good. I think you at a 45 might be better than me doing either one of those things. Because, one is extremely effeminate and one is just icky gross. And I just don't want to do that. And so, oh my gosh, man. But seriously, how many of you ladies complain about the men in your lives that, do the deed and they're standing up and stuff and they're simply not, not wiping it off? Or is that even sufficient, by the way? Is that sufficient? Or is it one of those things that's like, no, you need to do better. Just get some baby wipes or disinfectant wipes. Just put it by there and just tell the guy, look, you got to teach him. You got to teach him. Ike says, greetings from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Greetings to you. Very excited to see you. Lavinia says, energetic, always, every single morning. You got to be, man. You simply have to be. You have to be energetic because look, not only because today is the day that the Lord has made and we rejoice, right? And we are glad in it, but because we're living in evil times. And when you're living in evil times, you got to be on top of your game. You got to start your day off right. You got to you got to resolve from the get-go. And we're going to do that here in a second. We are going to do that here in a second, what we do every single day. It's our tradition here, in fact. And so like to resolve in our hearts every day that we are going to do the very best we can with every single minute, every single second, every single interaction, every single obligation, even every single use of our time, even when it comes to things like leisure, that we are going to do things in a way that is thoughtful. We're going to do things in a way that is intentional and that aims to redeem the time, to restore ourselves, to restore humanity. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Soledad Marin says, keep praying the Holy Rosary. Powerful weapon against demons. Praying hard from Spain. Yes, glad to see you, by the way. Have I seen Colbeck's testimony? Yes, I have. In fact, we may talk about it here. Let's see. Little kish in my crowbar. Don't know exactly what that means. What do you mean by that, David Johnson? What do you mean by that? Yeah. Bethany, about what happened in TCF? He was there 5 p.m. Oh, yes, okay, yep, you're talking about Colbeck, yes. Yep. Yeah, and by the way, that's a big deal. What they're talking about is witnessing the shenanigans that were going on, where they're tallying the votes. And we've shown a lot of that, by the way. Yeah, Joseph Gilligan, you deserve more viewers. Joe in Scotland. Dude, yes, man. I appreciate it. In fairness, right, this is an honest thing. It's an honest assessment. I wish we had more views. I wish we did. I wish that, I wish everybody would share the daylights out of it. Right? If they really love the show, if they like the show and they want people to know about it, and they don't even have to share it on social media, but to talk to their friends about it, Talk to their friends about it. Subscribe at paleocratdiaries.com. That'd be great, man. That would be absolutely great. In fact, we're going to go back to this main screen because we've got to get this song going. Because we got a lot of news to talk about. It's going to happen. We're going to have a good time. But look, it's totally true. It's totally true. That I wish that we had that. But the truth is of this matter, okay, talking to Joseph and everybody, the truth of it is this, is that when you put yourself out there, and you put yourself out there in such a way that you're just destroying political correctness day in and day out. You are just slaying dragons all the time, right? And you do so with pizzazz, and you do so with some edgy commentary, stuff that you say, look, man, this is really, really edgy. Some of the stuff, you're already going to have an uphill climb. That's already one of those things. We've already prepared for the idea of what happens if the show gets canceled. Or not canceled, but off of YouTube. We've already talked about that. Okay. So that's already a thing, but at the same time, part of it is this, man, is that this show is intentionally formatted and intentionally out there for Johnny Q and Sally Sue, right? It's going out there for the regular folks because, even a lot of conservative radio, It's for one, it may have been Johnny Q, Sally Sue back in the 90s, but now it's Edna, Star, Herbert and company, a lot. And I don't want to bash boomers, but it's kind of evolved into this thing where it's a certain demographic. And so you got to look at the flyover country people. You have to look at the people who Trump has represented for the first time. A president has represented people who had no voice. People who were called beautiful losers. That's a phrase that was used for them by Samuel Francis. Called them beautiful losers. And the truth is, for a long time, that's exactly what we were. And that's exactly how we felt. Middle American radicals. It's who we are, man. It's who we are. And so I look at all these shows, and I look at the way it's formatted, and I look at the interests of what kind of stuff are they promoting, and I'm thinking, dude, we got to have a show that is just here for the folks, man. So if it's small, it's small. No matter what, it doesn't matter. If I used to say this, man, if you're on a microphone and you're talking and there's only one person watching, you better speak as if there's a million. You give everything you've got, man. We're not eye pleasers, dude. I'm not, it bothers me when there are people who they're like, man, if there was more people, I'd give it more, more oomph. I'd give it everything I got, man. I'd really pull out the stops and let the zingers fly. And I'm like, dude, if there's one person in that crowd, I'm giving it just like I am right now. In season, out of season, day in, day out, morning to night, every second, every day, the best I got, period. That's my promise, man. And if that gets me, I'm really happy, by the way. I have 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. I'm grateful for that. I don't look at that. People say, dude, that's not very many. That's okay with me. You think that bothers me? And the enemy wants it to. The enemy wants people to feel as if they're inadequate, especially beautiful losers, because we're powerful people. We just needed to realize it. And for the last 4 years, we have. And we realize that a lot right now, which is why we ain't giving up. And it's also why we are a wolf pack. It's also why every single day, man, we howl at the sun, letting the world know that we are alive, that we are well, and that we are doing our best no matter what, because we believe in three things. These are the core mottos of this show. Never give up. Never. Keep on smiling, always. And memento mori. Remember that we're mortal. Remember the creator-creature distinction, that there's a difference, and that we as creatures will one day die. And we don't know when that is. It could, in fact, be today. And if that is the case, and even if it is not, that keeping that in mind, knowing that what those skeletons are, it's why I have my, I don't know if you guys can see this, I have a skull pin. It's my memento mori pin. It's what I use to remember always, to say what this is, I will one day be, and what I am, this once was. And to remember that always. Because it will drive you to give your absolute best, and we're going to do it right now, folks. So make sure, fill up that glass. Make sure you got your straw, if you do have a straw. If you do have a straw, make sure you got it, because we are going to rock here, folks. We are going to rock this out. Let me make sure I got this filled up all the way. I'm going to tank this. Straight to the dome, kids. Because we got a lot of talking to do. We got a lot of talking to do. We got a war afoot. Many, many battles, and we are going to win. That's just the way this is going to work, folks. So here we go. Oh, I got to get to the circle. I got to get to the circle. Let's see, Wolfie's. Let me see. Wolfie's song. Wolfie's song. Yeah, all right. Okay, everybody. Here we go. Yeah! Woo! Come on, girl. Yeah, boy. Oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, I love that guy. Oh my gosh, I love that dude. I love all of them, man. And the girl in there. There's a girl in there. And I hear him right now. I hear him upstairs. I love that little guy, dude. Oh, man. That little guy. All right, here we go. We're getting to some serious news, folks. We're getting to some serious news. And some of this stuff, look, I'm going to blend in. I decided that I was going to blend in some of these memes, okay? And so that way it's not so heavy at the end, right? Because these give us cues to talk about. And these are things, snapshots into giving us an idea, giving us, here, let me go ahead and drop this thing down. Giving us an idea as to what's really going on. I think that memes, and not necessarily memes like this, okay? But memes in general, the idea of taking snippets of information, right? Taking deep, powerful truths, summing it up in a very quick period of time, blasting it out there in a way that's powerful, that's funny, that is enthusiastic, profound, showing hypocrisy, showing wisdom, those kind of things. And right here is a great example. It was never about the virus. Look at these people. Look at those people. They don't care. These are the same people, by the way, that probably have those signs in front of their houses that say, wear the damn mask. And sorry for the swear word, but it's on the sign. Probably the same people that get online and have bashed you for questioning the efficiency of masks. And saying, how dare you? You're going to go to a protest? How dare you? You're going to a rally? How dare you? Even when it was outside. Didn't matter if it was outside. Didn't matter anymore. You got to all wear the mask. It's what it is. We're not going to do this. Oh, and lo and behold, guess what? This is exactly what they do, because they are lying hypocrites. It's what they're doing. It's rules for you, but not for me. It's what it is. And so we just, look, it's one thing to complain about it and to get upset about it. It's another thing to just know it's true and to live your life in such a way that you say, look, I don't take you seriously because of stuff like this. You can say that all day long. And the people The people who are out there all the time, don't do this. Don't go out and do the MAGA rallies. Don't do this. Stay inside, quarantine. We are together, apart, that kind of crap. Those same people are the ones that when Black Lives Matter was going on, they didn't care. In fact, remember all the TikTok and healthcare workers that were really busy making TikTok videos? Remember that? For the health system that was overwhelmed by choreographed videos and crappy music and a bunch of phones out. Oh my gosh, dude, we're like mad overwhelmed because of the virus. Here's the thing. When that happened, they were going outside. They were going outside with their fists in the air. We support you, to super spreader rallies, if you believe that narrative. Of course, we don't. We don't. Which is why you just got to sit there and know. You got to sit there and know this is all a big, fat lie. And because you know it's a lie, don't even fret it. Now, showing their hypocrisy, there's a role for that, which is why we do it. It's also why we do this. Look at this. I think this is yet another example. I think it's another example of what I mean by memes. The election's fair. Mail-in ballots are safe. Definitely no cheating. Stop posting about the election if you're conservative. Your account is suspended. Your post is fake news. The election is totally legit. Don't question anything. Dude, it's like the movie, by the way. And look at that creepy clown, dude, holding that person's face. Here's the problem, man. I don't think with the person in the front, the meme would be even better if that person was in fact covering their own face or covering their ears, because it's not an unwillful thing for these people. The horse blinder people, they put that on. They wear those blinders. Their world is better with them. In their opinion, they like the bubble. They don't mind the Truman Show. They don't mind that. That might in fact be ideal for them. It might be ideal. Don't tell me that news. I don't want to hear it. I want the lullaby music. I want to try that opiate of the masses crap, which at this point is political pageantry. It's what it is. It's political pageantry. Just sit there and say, just lull me to sleep again. It's amazing. But this whole, your post is fake news. The election is totally legit. Don't question anything. Especially when it comes from superiors that determine the truth for you. It's a completely different philosophy of truth, by the way. It's a completely different, in fact, it's a satanic view. It's demonic, man. And we've got to fight against it. If we take this idea that the way that they say that the people may believe and the people may know what is true and that what the people have access to in order to even determine for themselves, and whether or not that is even an outdated thing to say, we need to fight against that at a deeper level than just simply complaining about being suspended. In fact, it's to the point, are you guys getting the feel yet, man, that Facebook is a little bit MySpacey? This idea that these things are going to go on forever. Look, you're seeing the rise of alternatives to this. But this kind of thing, your post is fake news, the election is totally legit, don't question anything, all of that, okay, all of that stuff, it kind of sounds like Josie and the Pussycats. Remember that movie? Orange is the new pink. You love this new cola. And they were playing that in the background very, very, very quietly. They had a special machine that allowed them to get those messages out. And people listening were like, oh my gosh, I used to love pink. Now I really love orange. Yeah, let's go buy this certain product. And it was all this thing going on in that. That's what this is. You're hearing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It doesn't convince everybody. It's not a hypodermic needle. But some people are primed, right? And more susceptible to this sort of thing. And the fact is that social media giants, big tech giants, they know it. They know it, by the way. Let's see. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just we're going to be doing this as a daily reminder. This is your daily reminder that it's time to wear your MAGA hat. If you have one, you should wear one. In fact, you should stop being afraid. Don't be afraid anymore. This is a great article, by the way, theredelephants.com. It is a great article talking about how the way that we were portrayed, the way that the unhinged left was violent toward us, the way that the fake news has continually maligned the president for 4 years, the way that the deep state, which by the way, we've talked about what a deep state is. It's not some magical thing. We all know what it is. It's a bureaucratic managerial state, right? That's not elected, that rolls from one administration to the next. And we've even talked about the positive side of that there is a kind of stability that comes with that, but that stability can end up being poisoned. And when it becomes poisoned with power and secrecy, right, and invasions of rights, all sorts of wickedness, then it gets really wicked and bad. It gets really, really wicked and bad. But we got to wear this as a badge of pride. And you must wear it with confidence if we're to break out of the mental shackles of complacency. The silent majority must not be silent anymore. You are the majority, so act like it. That's what I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to show them that you don't have to be a wuss. In fact, you should not be. You should not be. Not only are you right, you've been right from the beginning. And you've been right from the beginning because you fear the Lord. And he's not going to lead you astray. He's not going to lead you astray. These other people are going to wander around. They're going to be grasping for any new thing, bedazzled by stuff that shines. That's what's going to happen. Oh my gosh, look at this new idea. Oh my gosh, look at this new technology. Oh my gosh, look at this, unproven thing, but it sounds like it might be good. They're going to be tossed to and fro by whims and fancies. They're going to be tossed to and fro by pressure that people are going to put on them. I see this all the time. I know certain communities of people. I won't even say what they are, but I see all the time. If somebody stands up to that community and says, look, I support the president, dude, you're out. Your career's over. You're done for. And the MAGA community and the Christian community, they have a large overlap there, by the way. They have not done a good job of saying, look, we have a network. Because when you're banning people at the magnitude that conservatives and traditional people are being banned, when that's happening, your fan base and the consumers, the customers ultimately are being disenfranchised. But they didn't go away. They didn't go away. Why not continue? Why not continue selling to them? Why not recognize this massive market? I think Parler has done this, by the way. I think Parler has done it. Let's see. I want to remind everybody of this. We're going to remind everybody of what's going on because this is something that was said a while ago. It's about a minute long. Okay? This is William Barr, Attorney General William Barr, talking ahead. When was this? Months ago? Talking about mail-in ballots. Yeah, let's see what he says. Uh-oh.
2009 that mail-in voting is fraught with the risk of fraud and coercion.
But since then,
and until this
investigations that haven't proved it.
Let me talk. In the newspapers, in networks, academic studies saying it is open to fraud and coercion. The only time the narrative changed is after this administration came in. Elections that have been held with mail have found substantial fraud and coercion.
As far as widespread fraud, we haven't seen that since.
Well, we haven't had the kind of widespread use of mail-in ballots.
By the way, did you see there? And for some reason, man, I'm not getting my audio on this. That would be a real bummer, man. That'd be a real bummer. Let's see.
Is being proposed. We've had absentee ballots from people who request them from a specific address.
But yeah, do you see the deflection there to widespread? Do you see that? And what they're trying to say, originally they will say there's no evidence of this. Then they turn around and say there's no evidence of it being widespread.
Now what we're talking about is mailing them to everyone on the voter list when everyone knows those voter lists are inaccurate. People trying to change the rules to this methodology, which as a matter of logic is very open to fraud and coercion, is reckless and dangerous. And the people are playing with fire.
There we go. It's open to it. And that's the whole point. In fact, there's a piece at the BBC. I may just jump straight to that. Yeah, I don't care about Brian Stelter. Turn him off. Turn them off. This is important, by the way. This kind of thing, vote rigging, how to spot the telltale signs. Now, this is way before 2020. This is on 2 of September, so September 2nd, 2016. And this has to do, by the way, not with the United States, it has to do with Africa. But I want to go through this, and I want to show you, and you can see every single marker, every single one on full display right now. And you want to know what? None of those organizations, none of those mainstream groups are going to talk about this. What are the telltale signs of vote rigging? Too many voters. Let's see if we can get zoomed up on that. There we go. Good. Too many voters. Watch the turnout figure. They can be a big giveaway. You never get a 98% or 99% turnout in an honest election. You just don't. What about when you have more votes than people? And would too many votes include lots of dead people? Lots of people who are long gone? Would that be included, by the way? Because we've seen that. Massive numbers. We're not even talking. If people are pretenders, if they say, oh no, it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. 1, 2, maybe 3 people. Bullcrap, man. Bullcrap. This show covers it every day. Every day we are on the ball because we are on your tail and we will see you in court. Mwah. Yes. Cutie. Unbelievable. So yes, it's amazing. Oh, no one, however, has any great enthusiasm for removing the names of those who've died. And you know what? Are you seeing a great enthusiasm for removing people who've died? Do you even see them talking about it? Where they're like, oh man, this is a real problem. How did that dead person get this? How were they able to vote? That's kind of weird. How often are you seeing that? You're not seeing it. You're not seeing it unless you're watching conservative stuff. Which means, Breitbart, Gateway Pundit, independent networks, things like that. Paleocrat Diaries. Yeah. Let's see, a high turnout in specific areas. Even where the turnout is within the bounds of possibility, if the figure is wildly different from the turnout elsewhere, it serves as a warning. Why would one particular area or one individual polling station have a 90% turnout while most other areas register less than 70? This is an interesting point, not just about the numbers in the United States that are very bizarre, but coincidentally, in key segments, Detroit or I don't know, Philadelphia, places like this, places that are under contention right now, right? Which, of course, if there was a kind of thing going on with voter fraud, you would have this in those places. So people are like, why are you bringing up those places? Because that's where we're seeing it. Duh. Isn't that an obvious thing, by the way? But it's not just the people who, the number of people who have voted, right? It's the lack of continuity between certain groups that historically you can look at and say, for example, if a bunch of people who are Hispanic in Florida have voted a certain way, then and historically speaking, it's not normally very different at all from people in other states who are Hispanic. Same thing with African American, you name it. And yet we see this wildly divergent thing taking place where when Trump wins, and those votes, by the way, are not even up for debate. They're not up for debate. They didn't come in when everybody was going to sleep night time. You don't see any of this 200,000 votes with none going to Biden. You ain't seeing that crap in the middle of the night. Bags being brought in by Ferraris and vans with no kind of monitoring going on, with no counters, with nobody watching, with no nothing. It's completely within the confines of a building being run by the people with DNC. Look, it's a joke. It's a joke, but this brings up a great point. High turnout in specific areas. Large numbers of invalid votes. Yeah. There are other more subtle ways that riggers can increase votes or reduce them. Keep an eye on the numbers of votes excluded. Even in countries with high literacy rates, with low literacy rates, this isn't normally above 5%. If it is above 5%, and you look at that, then you got to say, like, for example, what if you go in and you say, okay, as just a great example, take Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has a law made by Congress, the legislature, which is per the Constitution of Pennsylvania and of the federal Constitution, is the only branch that's able to make a law. The Supreme Court and the governor push for this idea that, well, we can't have the deadline being the day of the election, 8 o'clock at night. It needs to go more than that. So they end up making it way more. And by the way, when I say they made it that is functionally what happened, but it's ragingly unconstitutional. because ultimately you have two branches being involved, the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania and the executive branch performing the function and claiming to have the authority to perform the function that is only able to be done by the legislature. It's unconstitutional. It's out. I mean, you cannot make a law, and you can't ex post facto go, well, yeah, they shouldn't have done that, but we're going to keep it. You can't do that. You don't have the power to do that. And what are they going to do? Rule the verdict on themselves? Oh, yeah, we disobeyed the law. Let's go ahead. Then they're playing judge and jury. And they're the ones who acted outside the bounds. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. More votes than ballot papers issued. See, that's the big thing, by the way. That's the big thing, which is why I'm telling you, yeah, so this would be one way to do it, right? When the polls close and before they open the boxes, election officials normally have to go through a complicated and rather tedious process known as the reconciliation of ballots. Yeah, we have this, right? But we have it in these places conveniently in these highly contested places run by many Dems, not letting any poll watchers. No. You can't see it. And think of how sick this is, by the way. Think of how sick this is. When they're told, it was at Philadelphia or Detroit, when the judge told and gave an order that said the people in these, the people counting the votes, they needed to allow these poll watchers to be closer because they were looking through with binoculars and stuff. They said, we need to allow them to be closer. And so you say, okay, well, they have to be 6 feet closer or whatever, where you can be within that measure with them, right? So you can go and you can actually see it. You can go and look at the ballot and verify things on there. If you're super far away, the function, your very meaning and purpose of why you've been certified to do this at all is gone. It's gone. So you can't play that game. I mean, it would be obvious thievery going on, right? It would be obvious. You're saying, oh, yeah, so you're certified. You went through a process in order that you could come here and be a poll watcher. So that way you can verify and help verify what's going on. And traditionally, you'd have people from both sides. So you say, okay, we're going to have that, but we're going to make it so that you can't come anywhere near us. It's obvious fraud. I mean, there's no other reason. And what's amazing is even when they let those poll watchers closer, you want to know what they did? They moved the ballots way further away. So they moved them closer and themselves further away. Or they went downstairs in the basement, like we showed the video yesterday. We show videos all the time. People sitting there filling in the dots, ripping up ballots. That's what happens. In the comments, Luisana Munoz, Biden victory. Yeah, you're into the baby murder, chopping off kids' wiener things. You know, taking future mothers' breasts out. Is that what you're down with? Or, bombing other countries and killing all those kids and families and stuff like that? You're down with that? That's weird. That's really gross, actually. You're a sicko. Let's see here. Sayaku, thank you for all you do. May the Holy Spirit continue to bless you and your family always and multiply everything. Continue to fight for God in these wicked days. Dude, you are awesome. I receive that. I take it. I love it, man. I really do. I appreciate that very, very, very much. Antifa Arcami scum, entrepreneurial spirit requires commitment. Respect, brother. Respect to you. Respect to you, brother. Yes. Mary Ikes says closed caption, please. That is a good point, by the way. I have respect for that. In fact, my mom, she was an interpreter. She taught American Sign. So she taught American Sign in school, and it was one of those things where, you know, growing up, just knowing, being aware of disabilities of different kinds, whether it's being unable to hear, whether it's being unable to see, just even being aware of that and realizing that when you're doing things involving mass mediums, it'd be nice to be able to have access to people who may struggle with different things. And so we'll get on that actually. Okay, we will get on that. Yeah, Brian asked if the nurses were overwhelmed, would they have time to make TikTok videos? Of course not, which is, again, that's, you know, it's why people like Paul Joseph Watson are brilliant, or Mark Dice, why they are brilliant people, because they take things that are obvious, that you can say, well, dude, if this was true, then what about that kind of thing? And it shows the absurdity of it. And they can show one after another, after another, after another, after another. Like, for example, one of my favorite things that Mark Dice did was when, what did Trump say about Baltimore, right? He was talking, did he say that it was rat infested? Or it was infested with drugs and with rats and trash and stuff. And he used the word infested, right? Well, the left comes out and they're furious about it. Even the United States Council of Catholic Bishops, they come out and they're like, oh, this is so wrong. He used the word infested. That's got racial undertones and overtones. It's a dog whistle for racists. And you go, wait a second. That's kind of weird, because we can go back and show black person after black person after black person after the people who are the ones accusing Trump of racism saying infested, using the word infested. Using that exact same word for the exact same reason. And in fact, in some cases, going even further. Just one after another after another. Or how about this? I can't wait to see. We got to do a video, or have somebody do a video, because Whoopi Goldberg, yesterday, I don't even know what I'm talking about her, but Whoopi Goldberg, she was talking about how Hillary, why, you know, she didn't understand why all these treasonous, and I think did she say treasonous? Treasonous people who won't accept the election and won't accept the results, and that they dare to challenge the results of this election, that they dare to do that. She was saying, she used as her example Hillary Clinton, and said that Hillary Clinton never complained. Hillary Clinton never said, well, that's not true. And I'm thinking, dude, you can take that clip and not only, and she's basically, the Democrats never played that. You could find a bazillion clips of the Democrats saying this. In fact, it'd be overwhelming for the last 4 years. How many Democrats, how many liberals have been boo-hooing liberal tears, sitting there talking about how Donald Trump stole or is ruining the democracy, that our election was hacked. That was a phrase they were using. Our election is hacked. Hillary Clinton did not just accuse him of that. She made up a complete lie. Stunning. Stunning. And so you have people who, you know, will say, they'll pretend that everything's fine, or especially when they win, right? Especially when they win. That's what happens. And yeah, by the way, about that entrepreneurial spirit, dude, it does. It takes commitment. Every day, man, you know, I put together stories at night. In the morning, I normally drop some in. And every day on the mic, man, you know, my throat is, my throat's busted up. I know it's like those hardcore singers, you know, the people in those early hardcore, like 80s and 90s, where they're like screaming into a microphone, bleeding out of their throat and everything. It's all calloused up. It's like Alex Jones, basically. It's like Alex Jones. I'm eventually going to have that gravelly voice. I just know it. I just know it. It's okay. James said, Joe said, if I don't vote for him, I'm not black. When do I turn in my black card? Yeah, look. Yeah, Destiny. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, I love the term widespread. To me, that says there is fraud. But don't worry, it's not widespread. Fraud is fraud. I don't care if it's widespread or not, LOL. What's the parameter of widespread? That is the question. Because we are, in fact, experiencing widespread. When they use that phrase, so you see the kind of deflection and the kind of narrative creation that they're doing, right? Trying to create an image in the mind. The first one is going all out, right? Full bore. And they're saying it's an all or nothing thing. There is no evidence, none at all. But they also know that there are people who, they're on social media and maybe they've got a friend sharing Paleocrat Diaries. And they're like, dude, I'm seeing all these videos. This guy is sharing video after video of all this stuff. And he's sharing articles that talk about it. So, how bad is it? So they fall back to the second level and they say that it's not widespread. They say it's not widespread. It's isolated to certain places. And you go, okay, so when people think widespread, they might think national. So let's say the framework for a national election, the mental framework is a nation. And you can see the chart of all the states and kind of get an idea for the red and the blue. You've been blown away by this. And so the thing is, when you're thinking widespread, you're like, well, dude, look at all the states. There's no problem. And you go, what if it was in multiple counties? And what if those counties were actually significant? What if you had counties in Arizona? What if you had huge cities in Michigan? What if you had them in Philadelphia? What if you had them over in Georgia? What if you had them in different places? What if you had them there? Does that qualify for being widespread? Yeah. The answer is yes, by the way. The answer is yes. Let's investigate and let's audit every single state. Yes, let's do it. Dead people have been voting for years. You would think they would have fixed it by now. They don't want to. That's the thing. They don't want to fix it. And this is what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump is the kind of person that sees an issue and is like, we're going to blow that up. And just explodes it and forces the conversation. Kind of like, for example, when he called certain countries, poop holes, right? And he used the naughty word for it, but he called them poop holes, right? And everybody, all the liberals were freaked out about it and they were really mad. How dare you? These places are awesome. And he goes, but wait a second. You guys are saying that we have refugees fleeing from those places because they're so bad, they don't qualify, categorically, they don't qualify as immigrants, but as refugees. And that's your pitch. Why would they be refugees? Why so many refugees? Why the constant flow of them from those places? What's up with that? You have to pick. You can't say it's amazing and it's the worst thing in the world and people need to flee and we need to bring large numbers of them in. You can't say that at the same time. It exposes their weakness. I'm glad your eyes are open, Destiny. I am so glad. One commenter, I know someone personally was contacted about their ballot and not being signed correctly by the election clerk and contested by the Biden campaign and then rejected. Right? Forrester says you're not allowed to contact voters to fix their mail-in ballots and not treat in-person voters the same. Dude, that's yet another thing. That is yet another thing. And she asked, remember the Macedonian bot farmers? Put a link in the description for that, by the way. So what happens, CF is asking, so what happens if SCOTUS rules for Trump in PA? Does he get the Electoral College votes? Dude, the Electoral College votes, there's multiple things going on with that. Where you sit there and you say, for one, they haven't even been awarded. Like, this is a mirage, by the way. This is a blue mirage. The blue team was like, oh, we're going to have a red mirage. No, we did not. We are all under the bedazzling effect of a blue mirage is what we're experiencing. And those of us here can see through it. We are not mesmerized. We are not stupefied by the mirage, and we can see through it. But you look and you say, when are these electoral college votes, when are they going to be awarded? More than that, there's a period of time where legislatures are able to decide whether or not they are going to seat that, whether they are going to send electors, right? And take back what is their authority to take back. It's there. Let's see. James said, Jeremiah, remember when Trump allegedly said Haiti was a poop ball? Well, my parents are Haitian immigrants, and I've been there plenty of times. A lot of parents sell their kids there. Trump is right. Yeah. Seth asked, you were hearing about watermarked ballots. I haven't talked too much about watermarked ballots. I've only heard recently a number of things about that. I don't know, man. I'm what is it, Pachenik? I'm a little suspicious of Pachenik, man. David Knight over at InfoWars, David Knight has a really great segment where he doesn't believe Pachenik. In fact, he refuses to allow Pachenik on his show. He refuses to allow him. You know, Pachenik is kind of the granddaddy of the black magic, right, of psyops, and the idea that the granddaddy, the guy that designed it, that he's a very trustworthy guy. It is like, how do you know? By the way, he's also Pachenik's the same guy that said that Donald Trump was basically what is it? Delta Force reached out. I think down in Florida, Delta Force. What is it, Florida or whatever? That they reached out to Trump and they were the ones that recruited him to run for president. Antifa says if they're still litigating by December 14th, it goes to state representative nominees to decide. This is what I'm saying. People are not understanding. Oh, turn this guy off. By the way, if you Brian Stelter turned off Trump tweet notifications live on air, yeah, there's a possibility he's going to have to turn those buggers right back on. And there's a good possibility that people are going to be turning off Brian Stelter even more than they already have, because Brian Stelter sucks. He's probably one of the worst. This is your reminder, by the way, that Jennifer the People Decide Rubin is all about fascism. She's one of those Nazi Jews, apparently. Any R now promoting rejection of an election or calling to not to follow the will of voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. We've got a list of you too, by the way. We've got a list of you too, because you're an absolute freak. You're actually a dangerous person. And you're the kind of person that would love to see MAGA folks in concentration camps, which is especially sick, by the way, coming from you. Especially gross. You're a real sicko, a real freak, probably filled with all sorts of demons. You should take a knee for Jesus. He's the Messiah, the only one who can actually save your soul. Melania Trump is refusing to offer meeting with Jill Biden while Donald claims he won the election. Oh, yeah, because Melania is based. I love her, man. I love Melania. I do. I'm a huge fan. I love her. I love her style. I love that the kind of, swagger she's got, man. She's got a nice walk, right? Real good gait. She's just an amazing person. She really is. She's an amazing person. And, unlike Mrs. Biden, and I don't want to rag on Mrs. Biden too much, her style and stuff is pretty, not very attractive. But the thing is that, she's not bad though. I mean, she's not like super fugly. I mean, I don't want to dog her that way. But at the same time, we don't even know. Do we know what kind of doctor she is, by the way? Have we figured that one out? Because they treat her like she's this doctor. And that she's really, a reliable source for like, information that you would go to doctors for. What is she a doctor of exactly? Let me know. Here's a reminder. Mathematics proves election fraud by applying the Benford law test to the leading digit of the vote totals reported from precincts. The Biden total fails the test. Here's your reminder of what that looks like. Let's see. No. Can we show it? Okay. Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Look, I'll take myself off this so that you can see it. Let me go ahead and take off video capture. Take that off. Yeah. See that? That right there is a very unnatural distribution, and it's mega fake. Do you see Trump? His election data? Very, very not fake. Just a reminder about that, by the way. Mathematics. And Red Elephants has a great article about that. Dr. Naomi Wolf, if I'd known Biden was open to lockdowns, that's a stupid way to start. That's a stupid way. I just know this is going to be dumb. Dr. Naomi Wolf. As he now states, now, what are you talking about? He stated that before, which is something historically unprecedented in any pandemic and a terrifying practice. one that won't ever end because elites love it, I would never have voted for him. Nobody should actually follow you anymore. You're really naive. You are, and I like you, on some stuff. I think you're kind of dorky on other things, but I like you. I've seen you. In fact, you liked a question I asked. I was at Fountain Street when you came and spoke in Grand Rapids and made you blush, actually, right? And you said, I think a lot of ladies are going to want this guy's number. And I said, I think my wife here is going to have some problem with that. So I'm not against you in that way. You're like, you're one of those strange bedfellows to the MAGA movement in a way. But at the same time, what the heck is wrong with you? You would never have voted for him. Please tell me that's a primary thing. Okay, yep, that's happening right now. And this is what we have to know. This is right here. Look at the meme. Look at how this works, guys. Look at how this works. This is exactly what is happening. The media props him up. He can't do it himself. He's pathetic. His rallies, his support, loser. Nobody cares about him. They don't. I mean, it's all fake. It's all fake. And so these people, I love that Fox News is included in there because they are. And by the way, your daily reminder, if you still subscribe to Fox News, please just stop. Stop sharing Fox News all the way. Just stop it. They're not worth your time. What's this? Oh, yeah, okay. Communication manager for Dominion voting systems. That's one of the voting systems that are suspected of major problems. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Can I get that bigger? Okay. Let's see. In addition to being the communications manager for Dominion, Starr has worked for the Clinton Foundation, vice president of Teneo, Clinton and Doug Band. Remember, I said that. I mentioned Doug Band's name, by the way, on the what did I say, Doug Band? Yeah, I think so. We're talking about the Pied Piper strategy with Clinton, with Hillary back in 2016. Doug Band was involved in that. The Geistra Clinton Global Initiative, Uranium One, the UN, well, say no more. The Resistance, organizer of Women's March Against Trump, board member of March On Resistance Group, followed by and follows Open Society Foundations on Twitter, shows absolute hate for POTUS on Twitter. Oh, ain't that a thing? Ain't that a thing? Of course. Look at that. I mean, there's just so much wickedness going on in this lady. You can see it. Can you feel it, by the way? Can you feel the wickedness? Super do bad. Super do bad. Update. Facebook and Twitter suspend accounts that posted on Benford's law showing Biden's implausible vote totals. They labeled it sexual exploitation by Jim Hoft. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's that unnatural distribution. And apparently, Benford Law Analysis of Chicago, Milwaukee, and Pittsburgh show 3 cities where there was likely fraud to benefit Joe Biden. Of course, dude. Oh, yeah. Mega fake crap. That person was banned. Right here. Your post goes against our community standards on adult sexual exploitation. No one else can see your post. We have these standards to promote a safe environment on Facebook. Dude, they're just literally pulling it out of their rear end at this point. They don't even have to say anything. They don't have to say anything that makes sense. They have complete control. They have complete control. Twitter suspended Gateway Pundit's assistant editor for retweeting that Benford's Law report. Right here. Just your daily reminder that you can go to 79days.news and you can see a video entitled Epic Voter Fraud Compilation, All Election Theft Caught on Tape in One Place. They're going to have to update that, by the way. They're going to have to update it. Yep. They're going to have to update it. Let's see. We'll end with this one. Well, I'll just say right now. Catholic exorcist. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Catholic exorcist Father Chad Ripberger calls on faithful to recite prayer to bind the evil spirits and satanic forces until election oddities are resolved. Because that's actually what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with wicked satanic junk. It's what it is. It's not just flesh and blood, man. I mean, that's not to deny that there is a dynamic of flesh and blood to this, right? These people are puppets of demonic entities and stuff. But it's just true. It's true. Look at the worldview that these people embrace. Look at the worldview. The New World Orderism that these people have. These are all New World Ordites. These are people that believe in chopping little Jimmy's thing off. You know, if he plays a video game in the brain and believes that, oh, I think I'm a girl. You're 8 years old, dude. You're 8 years old, and believe me, you are not a girl. And I ain't going to cut off the wang in order to make you one. The people who make it impossible for women, young girls, to one day be future mothers who are able to breastfeed their kids because those girls are playing video game in the brain and say, I think I'm a boy, instead of just simply being a girl who happens to like getting dirty outside. Sickos, man. Sickos. Dude, defend the yeah, what is it, man? Defend the tomboys. Defend them. And right there's his prayer. You can go ahead and, in fact, we may end the show. I'm going to drop this over here. We got to keep cooking, man. We got to keep cooking. Awaken a sleeping giant. Parler jumps to the most popular app as conservatives rally support to leave Twitter and Facebook. I may actually do that live on a show coming up. Because I've been debating it for a long time, sitting there thinking like, you know, what am I going to do? I've got a lot of stuff on Facebook. I'm really glad that I'm on Facebook, you know, for certain things. For certain things. But it's also a real pain in the butt, man. You know, it's a real pain in the butt. And surveillance capitalism, dude, sucks. It totally sucks. And if you don't know anything about Parler, you got to check that thing out, man. And here's another reason why you got to get rid of Fox News. Breaking. Fox News cuts away from Kayleigh McEnany briefing on election fraud. Neil Cavuto says the network can't verify her claims, so they're not going to air it. By the way, Neil Cavuto, you're a lying sack of crap. You are a lying sack of crap, you never Trump loser. We're taking you down, bro. We're taking you down. You ain't going to be hard. You're an easy one to topple. In fact, I don't, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, maybe some affirmative action preferences going on there, I don't think you'd even have a show. You've been pretty wrong for a long time. You're not very impressive. You're not very impressive, Neil. Not very impressive. And you know what? Not just not impressive. Not just not impressive, but on the wrong side of so many really important matters. Maybe most specifically, the Maganomic revolution. You've been on the wrong side, buddy. They cut away. He said, if you can't, to continue to air her false claims. But you see, again, there's the prime. He says, we can't in good conscience talk about it because we can't verify it. Therefore, it is false. That's a triple layer. That's a triple layer. You know, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. It's false. It's not widespread. There's multiple layers of psyop going on at you. And these people don't care. In fact, I think he'd be willing to sell his soul in order to make sure that Trump doesn't get back in. I do. If he hasn't already sold it already. You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of the channel. You just got to do it. Fox News ratings crashed on Saturday. The Fox News channel crashed in ratings on Saturday, coming in a distant third place. Think about that, guys. Think about that. Good job, by the way. Good job. I've been saying on this show, man, Fox News got to go. It played a role, right? It played a role. There was a time where it was like, well, yeah, that's pretty good. But if you really think back, that gave us George W. Bush. Think about it. Think about it. That's the engine for people like McCain, for Dole, for Romney, right? This is the engine for that crap. It's what gave us wars, man. It was the drumbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go to Afghanistan. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go to Iraq. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go to North Korea. Let's go to Iran. Let's go to Yemen. Let's go to anywhere that we want. Let's go and sell our souls and give tons of money to the nation of Israel, which, by the way, Netanyahu, you are a backstabbing traitor. Unsurprising, by the way. Unsurprising, by the way. There's kind of a habit going on with that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You're paying attention. But it crashed in its ratings. Fox News did. CNN. In second place, MSNBC. Think about that. Oh. This is wicked bad, dude. It's wicked bad. In the week before Tuesday's election, Fox News averaged more than double the viewership of CNN and MSNBC. You know what we call that? Explosion. That's what we call it. Go to the alternatives, guys. You got to go to the alternatives. You have to show that you are willing to go to a place to give them a chance. I know some people would say, well, but the quality of the show is not as good. Look, dude, you know how much money these people get to play with, and you know how long they've been at it? Try to think back, by the way. Try to think back to what these sites were like when they first came out, or what these stations were like when they first came out. Think back. It's been a minute, but these two right here, they are not worth your time. They're not worth your money. They are not worth your shares. I won't share. I won't share them. Brett Baer deletes tweet that exposes exploding backlash against Fox News. Fox News channel. Brett Baer has deleted a tweet that provided the backlash against the disgraced cable news network, and it exploded. Look at the tweet, by the way. Join me and Martha McCullum tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox News. That's the most bland milk-toast thing in the world. I mean, there's nothing, crazy about that. Until you go down and you see that it's only liked 1,109 times with 22.2 thousand comments. That is ratioed out of existence. Oh, my gosh, man. Boycott him, man. Boycott him. And if that's not a sufficient reason why, let's think here. Let's think here. And their ratings will probably remain high till after the election. But like Nolte says, I'm truly interested to see what happens afterward, because Fox News has lost its base of support. And when you lose your base, you are in very serious trouble. Ask the NFL, ask the NBA, ask ESPN, ask Megyn Kelly. And because Fox News has legitimate online competition, take, for example, Breitbart, for example, the Gateway Pundit, for example, Fox News also has legitimate broadcast competition from One American News and Newsmax. Fox blew it. And think of the many ways that they did. These are, by the way, these for me, you don't have to forgive a news channel. You don't have to forgive them. You can walk out that door, turn them off, and never look back. You're allowed. In fact, I encourage you. Please do it. Please do it. Fox News lied about Trump not repudiating racism. Fox News released one rigged poll after another. Fox News called Arizona early to help Biden win the post-election. Public relations battle in a contested race. Fox News rigged the first presidential debate. Fox News deliberately interrupted Trump and allowed Biden to interrupt Trump during the first presidential debate. And then Fox News lied about it. Fox News is a pile of lying garbage, and its base of support has finally had enough. Yes. Yes. We are out, man. We are out. You can keep your George Bush era conservative crap. You can keep it. We're out. We're out. Because ultimately, if you think about it, that is an alliance to the left. Unsurprising. Because those people, that brand, neoconservatism, where did it come from? No, I don't know. From the left. It did. They didn't like the anti-war stuff. So what did they do? They left the party. They left the Dems, became Republicans. They're like, we don't like this anti-war stuff. We don't like that. These are the people that told you your job is never coming back. These are the people that said, you know what? The future of America is brown. The browning of America. They're the ones who did the biopsy of the party and said, we need to embrace comprehensive immigration reform, including, basically, open border type stuff. Koch brother type stuff. New World Order type stuff. NAFTA's great. Your job went overseas? That's okay. That's okay. Because apparently Americans wouldn't do the jobs, that they were doing when they left. When those jobs went over somewhere else to a different person in another country. And they love going to war. And look, George Bush, who did he support? Oh, lo and behold, Biden. Yeah, George Bush's kids, who did they support? Biden. Yeah. Look at the neocon cabal. Who did they support? Biden. These people were part of that Lincoln Project. Which, by the way, the Lincoln Project was making videos scaring the living daylights out of people, like a girl and her mom in a car that have they're driving up to a border and they get pulled over by the cops, and the cops looking down and sees the teenage girl and says, "Are you trying to get to the border? Are you pregnant?" And then pulling the girl out, making sure, "Mom, you can't do this. We're trying to, murder the baby." Satanic, dude. Satanic, bro. These guys are, they are Bohemian Groving it up. They are Bilderberging it up. New World Ordering it up. Turn them off. Get rid of them. Don't look back. Busted. Fox News anchor Sandra Smith caught on hot mic saying the quiet part out loud after the panelist says network has no authority to call election. Oh, yeah. And she's like, what? What's going on? What? Yeah. Sandra Smith gasped in disbelief. What? Smith replied, "What's happening? Trace, we've called it. We've called it. Turn them off, tune them out, walk away, never turn back. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, toots. We are out of here. Let that broad rot." Effective COVID-19 vaccine miraculously announced days after election. Ain't that a thing, by the way? Nobody could have predicted this. This is over at the Conservative Treehouse. Sundance. I love Sundance, by the way. Yeah. And by nobody, we mean, everybody. As the political media and Democrats simultaneously drop their COVID-19 social distancing concerns, right, as anticipated, an effective vaccine is announced. Within the announcement, Pfizer admits that they stalled the announcing the results of the study in October, preferring to wait until after the election. Ain't that a thing, by the way? Regardless of where you stand on whether or not people should take vaccines, the messaging of this, the way that frames candidates, the way that frames what's going on, because now they can say this didn't have to do with Trump. This didn't have to do with Operation Warp Speed. It didn't have to do with any of that. Maybe in the end, maybe in the end, MAGA folks will be glad, in fact, that it was distanced from that. Yeah, just amazing. Not only was the COVID fear hyped and weaponized for maximum political narrative engineering value, but news of the COVID vaccine was withheld for the same reason. In the comments, Jeremiah, remember when Trump allegedly... Okay, I read that one already. Sorry about that. Let's see. 29-21 as it stands for the GOP, so Trump wins. I'm not entirely sure exactly what that's about. The 29-21. Oh, you're talking to states. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, they sell their kids. James says they sell their kids as servants, knowing they'll be used for sex. Talking about Haiti, by the way. And look, go to the WikiLeaks, man. Go to the WikiLeaks. The very thing that the left said, don't look at that. Don't go look. No. Please don't. Please don't. More than that, they were like, look, we're the ones that are going to do this for you. We're the ones that are going to show you what it says and interpret it, because we have the magic crystal ball. We'll pick only the best stuff. Believe me. And as an example, why don't you see the select portions of the video from George Floyd that we presented to you? Oh, the ones that make him look like he's a helpless guy who's just, doing everything right. We're going to leave out the other 19 minutes of the video. We're going to leave all that out where he's sitting there saying he can't breathe before he's even out of the vehicle. or where his friends are sitting there saying he's totally whacked out, or where he's got a pill in his mouth, or where he's got a little baggie falling out, he's dropping a little baggie behind him, or where he's got a pipe in his hand. Oh, we're going to take all that out. We're going to take all that out because, that's how we frame things. Yeah. Same thing with WikiLeaks, by the way, which is why most people don't know jack about it, man. And that's why, they're like, oh, WikiLeaks, that was a conspiracy. No, it wasn't, dude. You can actually read those. They are verified. They are unquestionably verified as authentic. In fact, after a week, that wasn't even contested anymore. Which is why they say that it was a crime for him to do it. You can't play both those. They're not real, and they hacked us. Dum. It's easy, dude. By the way, guys, I hope you're catching all this. Maybe taking notes, in fact. It's easy. You can spin these folks like a dreidel. Blam! You can spin them like a dreidel. It's not hard. It's not hard. Let's see here. Yes, agreement. Melania is beautiful in the comments. Melania is a very classy lady. Let's get this up here, man. Let's get this up here. Yeah. Yeah, Melania is beautiful. Melania is a very classy lady. They forgot Twitter, Facebook, and Google helping Biden to win. Yes. Oh, Lowell says 60% owned by Feinstein's husband. Is that you talking the what is it? Dominion? What are you talking about? The voting machine stuff? Where can you find that Joe Biden propping up meme? One way you can do it, man, is you can take a screenshot of the video. Also, I'll need to share it because I've got it actually. I've got a whole bunch of these Facebook things lined up. I don't want to go ahead and do that yet. Yeah, Jane says, yeah. Oh, Will DeMont, dude, yeah, boy. Yeah, good morning. Proud of you, boy. I'm proud of you. Yeah. I'm always happy to see one of the boys in the chat. Always very excited about that, man. Giving your all, bud. Giving your all, very proud. James Monroe, math is sexual distribution now. Apparently. Yes. Let's see. If Trump does, hoping to get the presidency for a second term and then does nothing again about Twitter, Google, Facebook, etc., then Trump needs to not complain about it ever. Break him up, period. Look, I would be with you, but it's not something that remember, there's things that have to be done. Even with things like the wall, there's only so much, for example, that a president can actually do. And on the one hand, it puts a president in a risky place when they make it a major thing, right? And they say, like, build the wall. And everybody's saying, build the wall. And then he gets in, he says, these people are going to pay for it. And then you get in, and it doesn't end up being exactly as the person thinks. And you say, well, why is that? And it's because you actually need cooperation. I mean, that's one of the things. We have separation of powers. And the idea is that not only that they remain separate, but that they got to actually work together. There's things that there's got to be stuff like that works together. And so I don't know. I think that if we want to break it up, if we really believe in that, by the way, if we believe in that, and we say that we need to as people who are not in a position of being president of the United States, just us, if we want to break it up, we should do things like tech sabbaticals, for example, where you just simply turn it off. My phone was off for like 36 hours recently, all the way off. And so, I think I think on certain days, just to say, I'm not even going to go look at the news. I'm not going to go and look at social media. I'm not going to go and get on my phone and watch things like that. I'm going to stay away from digital things. I think we could begin to break that up. And we could begin advocating for people to have a functional literacy in mass media theory, and mass communication. I think that kids should be taught this. They should be taught the effects of this on them and not reserve it for some kind of a movie. Yeah. Apparently you can download the Newsmax app from the App Store. Yeah, Timothy Gordon. Dude, Timothy Gordon? What, dude? Timothy Gordon, just saying what's up. Dude, homie, you are the man. Dude, we need to talk for multiple reasons, man. You're the man. I showed a video of you a couple, it wasn't yesterday, When would it be? Last Friday? Or was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? I'm on like 3 hours a day, man. I'm cranking through all this news. Just blam, blam, blam every single day. Politics, economics, culture war. Taking down the New World Order. All right? Doing it every single day, bro. Every single day. Yeah, very, very, very glad to see you. By the way, if you guys don't subscribe to Timothy Gordon, you simply have to. He's the man. He's one of those guys on the front lines of everything, right? He's been at this for a while, man. They came at him. He was one of the first people really out there just pounding away at the idea that BLM is a Marxist revolution. These people are Marxist through and through. This is not about like, oh, well, there's a guy who got, wrongfully mishandled by police officers. No. It's much bigger than that. And he was censored left and right. Lost his job, in fact. Lost his job as a teacher, teaching at school. Lost his job. I'm glad to see that. Look, he's a trooper, though. And his wife, he's a trooper because his wife, man. He is. You know it, dude. You know it, Tim. You are a trooper, dude, because that wife, she's, our wives keep us in line, don't they? They keep us on track. They keep us on track. Monica Vargas, I support Fox News 100%. They are the best. Yeah, I don't know, if you're trolling me or what. Fox News, if you were to say, I follow Fox News because I like Tucker Carlson, that's forgivable. If you say, I follow Fox News because of Laura Ingraham, it's still forgivable. If you say, I follow Fox News because of Sean Hannity, I may not want anything to do with you. I'm sorry, man. Sean Hannity is a grifter. Sean Hannity is a grifter. He's one of those tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. It's coming any second, and it never does. And it never does. He has people on all the time. How many times did you hear him say, you're going to have all of these indictments. You're going to have these people put in cuffs, and they're going to go to jail. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. Let's see. Unbelievable stuff. Yes, Dominion. Okay, we're talking about the Dominion system. Gotcha. It says right here, Pelosi invested $600,000 in the parent company of Edison Research Media vote count source. Unbelievable. And yes, Tim, I'll give you a call. I shall give you a call, brother man. Maybe sooner than later, dude. Keep your phone on. Keep your phone on, because we got to talk, dude. We got to talk, brother. Okay. Let's see here. On to the news. Ohio Attorney General asks U.S. Supreme Court to overturn ruling that extended deadline for mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania. Look at this. Ain't messing around, folks. Ain't messing around. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Pennsylvania state legislature decided election day ends 8 p.m. on election night. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's no ambiguity, by the way. Rogue Democrat Pennsylvania Governor Wolf. That's just unfortunate, dude, that he's called a wolf. Because we're a wolf pack. He's a wolf that's out. He's not welcome in. He circumvented the state legislature and took the fight to the state Supreme Court. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court created law out of thin air and extended the deadline for mail-in ballots to November 6th. Again, this is phony baloney sauce. And the liberals don't even know what's coming. They don't even know what's coming. They have no clue. And they're like, if we just, yay, look at us. We're so happy, like the inverse, right? So in 2016, you had the people screaming outside, acting complete meltdown. You had Chunky Uger. You had him over at the Young Turks. He's a weirdo, by the way. He's a freak. So you have him, totally meltdown. All of his staff, total meltdown. It's iconic. They've lamented it. They've tried to make it so that people can't share it. And this time, it's like the opposite. They're like, dude, they're what would you call it? Would you call it jumping the shark? Cart before the horse? What would you call it? It's what they've done. And dude, they're setting themselves up for some serious problems. They are setting themselves up for serious problems. Imagine for a second how excited you would be if you were like, look, this is over. Unreliable sources with Brian Stelter told me that it's over. Facebook told me it's over. The AP, I mean, doesn't the AP like run the show? Aren't they the ones that decide? What is it with this idea that, you know, the courts are going to get involved? Huh? What? They don't even know, dude. They don't even know. And the thing is, when you get in court, now you can't say for sure which way the courts are going to go. But you know one thing for sure, and that we are now neck deep in legislation. This is the avenue that we're taking, because this is the avenue that republics take in situations like these. It's the way it is. And you can actually see on full display, you can see the idiocy of democracy and the wisdom and the order of republics on full display. It's unbelievable, actually. I'm not going to go into this too long, although I think this is a good idea. Donald Trump Jr. declassify everything. Amid all the election ramifications and discussions, Donald Trump Jr. outlined a thought today that has likely been on the mind of many, including, of course, Sundance. The thing is, we're talking full blown, right? Letting everybody know that, you know, the time is long past for President Trump to fully demand his executive cabinet members declassify the evidence outlining intrusive government surveillance upon not only himself, but all Americans. Totally true, 100%. 100% bona fide, guys. You got to do it. And the thing is, there's a way to do it. And I like what Sundance describes in here, okay? Because he's talking about the idea, for example, he says, is the DC political surveillance state and all the ramifications within that reality so fundamentally corrupt and against our nation's interest that no entity even dare to expose the scope or depth of it? And ultimately, is it the preservation, and I've talked about this before, is it the preservation of institutions that is causing so many disconnected outcomes from evidence intentionally downplayed? Yes. Yes. We talked about it before with JFK. Trump said, release the files, guys. And I warned everybody. I said, look, it's going to happen to where he's going to say, let it out. And the FBI and other people involved are going to say, oh, no. Oh, no, can't. Is going to be that, you know, we're a really important institution. And we're really important to stop a lot of bad guys. And because that, we need you to think that we are really good. Even if, in fact, in reality, we've done things so bad that if you knew, you would want nothing to do with us. It's true. It's true. And this is exactly why, when it was supposed to be released from the archives, was it that day? Was it the FBI, by the way, that said, oh, no, please. There was an injunction. Oh, please don't. Oh, please don't. And for the sake of them and for the sake of the institution, but it put it on the line. It basically let you know that all those people who mocked you for thinking there was much more to it, those people, they were just dead wrong. We knew it. We knew it. But he talks about how to, a strategic approach, because it's going to be harder post-election. I mean, it's going to be a hard thing to do. It has a list of the different documents that are to be presented without a single redaction. Carter Page FISA application, by the way. All the versions of it. All the Bruce Orr 302s filled out by the FBI. All of Bruce Orr's emails. Totally. All relevant documents pertaining to the supportive material within the FISA application. All supportive documents and materials provided by Bruce Orr to the FBI. Bruce Orr, of course, married to the lady that had the ham radio, working with Steele, funneling in a bunch of information after they said Steele was no longer reliable because he's funneling stuff out to the media. And he's like, I'll be your connection, baby. I'll be your connection, sweetheart. You stay on that ham radio. It's a joke. All unredacted text messages and email content between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok on all devices. the originating CIA EC, or two-page electronic communication from former FBI agent Peter Strzok, and all communication between the CIA Director John Brennan and FBI Director James Comey that started Operation Crossfire Hurricane. There's more to it. You can add to it, in fact. And it goes through and talks about how it should be done. How it should be done. Right? That they need to speak to the Gang of Eight, for example. White House Counsel Office is not to be informed of the intent or purpose of the meeting. However, the President's White House Counsel is requested to attend. Further, all of the compartmented intelligence is to be collectively assembled by ODNI, that's Ratcliffe, by the way, into one volume of a singular Presidential Daily Briefing, PDB. There are to be 18 printed copies altogether. Additionally, the Office of the President personally informs the ODNI of the executive's request to invite for the briefing each member of the legislative branch intelligent community oversight known as the Gang of Eight. Most of them are scumbags, by the way. It's true, dude. Most of them are just scumbags. In order to facilitate, each member of the group will be provided one full printed copy of the material assembled by the ODNI. At the conclusion, after hearing from the President, an engagement with each of the participating members of the executive intelligence offices, okay, all these people, and after listening to their opinion as to the subject material that's discussed, the President announces to the fully assembled leadership of both the executive branch, the cabinet, and the legislative branch, the Gang of Eight, that it is his opinion that the national interest of the United States can best be served with the American people having a full, transparent, and honest review of the material assembled. And then he says the President, and only the President, needs to go out right away. He walks directly to the office of James Brady, the press briefing room within the White House, handing each of the awaiting 12 members of the national media a copy. He's got to do it. At exactly that same time, as he enters the briefing room, one copy of the assembled portfolio is hand-delivered by President Trump only to White House Communications Director Alyssa Farah with instructions to scan and release the content to the public through the White House website. Done. Done. By the way, I love Sundance, dude. Sundance is a genius, man. And it was amazing to see, that being laid out in such a succinct way. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I would love it to happen. Because before he leaves, Trump, I've said this from the beginning, Trump is not only a tragic hero, kind of, Victor Hansen, right? Victor Hansen talking about Trump being a kind of Achilles character, right? Somebody who's there just going to ravage everything, right? Destroy everything. In the end, though, that it's going to be tragic. I said that on Dogma Debate with David Smalley, the atheist program. He's sitting there debating me about it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is exactly, what this is. But he's got to go out. If he's going to go out, and if it's not going to work, and he has to actually, in some ways, he has to suppose that both of those things may even be equally true. He has to be able to suppose and to keep in mind the idea that he can win by following the patterns that are done by republics in time of crisis. And that he has to trust his people. He has to trust God. He has to trust the prayer of the people. But on the other hand, he has to be aware of the diabolical nature of the enemy. He has to be aware. And here's one way that he's aware. Trump admin refuses to play pretend. No patty cake with the coup plotters. Denies funding to Biden transition team. Super great. Of course. Of course. And I got a bunch of these things. Yeah, okay, because he knows there ain't no transition when you got stuff like this, son. With all the recounts, investigations, audits, and court cases, this election is far from over. That is just a fact. That's just a fact. And we're seeing it all over the place. We're seeing it all over the place because because you have stuff like this. Man, I hate that. Complete list of suspected fraud issues in 2020, sorted by state with recommended actions and how to address. This is a how-to show. You got to go, guys. You got to go. You have to find out what to do. I've recommended small little things, right? Showing up at rallies, fighting with all of your might every day, getting on your knees to pray for the president, wearing your red hat, not being afraid anymore, refusing to play the game. We can go here. And right here, they've got a great overall thing here, manually recount any state results where the Dominion vote machines were used to tally the results. A whole bunch more. Identify dead people who voted. Judicial Watch is already on it, man. Judicial Watch is on it. Dude, even... Oh, my gosh, dude. Oh, my gosh. Hold on. What is his name? I'm always forgetting this guy's name, dude, the comedian. And I feel badly about it because he's a hilarious guy, right? And Steven Crowder. Whew. Steven Crowder. Dude, even he's on it. Even he's on it, right? Showing all the thousands of people that even he and his comedy show, essentially, political satire show, that they were able to find out. Dude, I encourage people to go and check, find out if your grandparents, find out if they voted. Find out if your great-grandmother, she's not just rotting in the grave, she's also somehow making it out to the precinct. And voting for Biden. And voting for Biden, of course. Because dead people only vote Democrat. By and large, I'm sorry, by and large, that's going to be true. That is going to be true. But these are ways you can deal with it. This lady's got a lot to deal with, by the way. Look at her face, man. Look at her face. Doesn't she just look like she's got all sorts of, spiritual maladies going on deep in her heart? Yeah, she's charged with 134 counts. Election fraud investigation involving the registration of 67 of the facility's residents. Apparently that was people who were totally mentally incapacitated, right? Couldn't even give their consent, by the way. We've got stuff like this. Poll watchers in Wayne County file lawsuit alleging that Detroit officials knowingly committed mass voter fraud. So when you're sitting there, it's easy to call this mass voter fraud because it is. You know what else is mass voter fraud? What the mainstream media is doing by peddling this idea. Foreign leaders that have opposed Donald Trump, what they are doing by speaking with quote-unquote President-elect Biden during a contested election. Which, by the way, again, go to the very definition of President-elect. Go to it. Find out for yourself. And lo and behold, guess what? Guess what? Phony ballones, dude. Phone balloon sauce. Mega super do fake. Super do fake, dude. He has no right to that. No right at all. He's faking. It's a pump fake on everybody. And it's, he likes to juke a lot of people. They're like, oh, dang, son, that was a good maneuver. You got me. And they like it. They're like, man, I love this guy. I love this guy. Other people, they shouldn't be affected by the pump fake. But that's exactly what they're getting. Everywhere they look, completely surrounded. And this show not only equips you, you can go to any of these articles, by the way. I strongly encourage you to do so and to share them and to share this show. Do it. Because we are in some serious trouble, by the way. We are in serious trouble when you've got demoniacs like Jake Tapper. And you got to start calling them what they are. He's a demoniac. CNN's Jake Tapper joined the growing list of media elites and Democrats, but I repeat myself. Okay, who is this? Who is this? John Nolte. Yeah, okay, guys. Calling for Trump staffers to be blacklisted. I truly sympathize with those dealing with losing. It's not easy, he said. It's not easy. He would know, by the way. He would know. He's been boo-hooing it up for 4 years. For 4 years, he's sitting there. It's not easy. I know. But at a certain point, one has to think not only about what's best for the nation. Shut up, man. Shut up, you freaking liar. Piece of crap. This guy, I can't even go on, man. Be quiet, dude. Shut your freaking face. You want to know why you got to shut your face? It's simple. It's simple. Because you never thought about what was best for the country with a peaceful transfer of power. Never. Never, ever, never. It was your mission. And every single day, you did everything you can to perpetuate the lie. Liar. Bald-faced liar. He's got a punchable face. He's got a punchable face. But how any future employers might see your character, yeah, defined during adversity. Yeah, we all saw your lack of character. You don't have character. You don't have character. You have no integrity. You're a robot that just cranks out lies 24/7. It's what you do. It's what you pay. It's what you get paid for. It's what you get paid for. We all know it. Anybody in this industry knows it for a fact. And the people who are not in the industry, they know it from what they see. They're rather wise, intuitive, in fact. Edmund Burke style stuff, man. No peaceful transfer of power. You're a liar. You're a scumbag. Again, punchable face. Here's another really punchable face. I'm sorry to say it that way, man. I'm not a violent person. But I definitely look at that and say, if I had to think of a face to punch, right? And I said, if there was one person's face, kind of like Fight Club, if you could fight somebody, who would it be? If I could punch somebody's face, this guy right here is definitely high atop my list. I mean, it's just the way that is. Just the way that is. Look at it. CNN media reporter Brian Stelter hailed the possibility that normal relations between the president and the press would be restored. That's going to be true of any Democratic candidate. That's just true. Because the media is simply the propaganda wing of the party. It is all it is. That's it. They are essentially the narrative creators and propaganda peddlers. It's what they are for the Democratic Party. And occasionally the Uniparty, right? And you see the Uniparty with the butt loving going on between the Bushies and the Bidens. You see it. He admitted that Donald Trump has been more accessible than his rival. Yeah, but he was actually accessible, by the way. His rival was not. Now, I'm going to skip over some of this. But I got to tell you this. I'll save a bunch of these for a different show. But I got to tell you this. Hold on. Let's see here. I got a bunch of these things here. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. All right. Let's see. So here's the thing, by the way, is that the people who released Detroit leaks, and we talked about Detroit leaks. We've been ahead of this game for a long time. When people say there's no evidence, you say, "Oh, dude, you got to watch Paleocrat Diaries. He's going to school you. He's going to school you. You will learn of all of the many ways that we have boatloads of evidence. It's just the way that is. Just entire semi-truck loads of evidence all over the place. But the thing is, one of those was a thing called Detroit leaks. Hashtag Detroit leaks. That was put out by Big League Politics. Okay, we mention them regularly on the show. They have been given a cease and desist letter, okay, by the Attorney General in the state of Michigan to stop. I pray that they do not. I pray that they keep going, and I promise them that I will continue sharing it when there's anything. We've told people, you got to go see the video. They have a collection of them where these people training for poll workers are talking about ways to get rid of stuff and to make sure that poll watchers can't see. And it's all leaked audio. And it's all damning to the people in Detroit. It is damning to the argument that there was not a scheme and a plot. It is damning to the entire narrative. It's damning to the DNC narrative. And she wants it gone. Threatening, by the way, threatening prosecution. She's a freak. They're authoritarians in disguise. And that's what we must beware of. We must beware. We must beware. Here's an article. I'll end on that. Where's the article, man? It's going to kill me. I had an article here. Let's see. Is it this one? No, right here. Okay. Joe Biden, president-elect. Sorry for that. Sorry for that mix-up, by the way. And before we do that, let's second to last issue going back to the. Oh no, I just skipped it. There we go. There we go. Okay. Back to the comment section. Women, check yourself under your maiden names. Yes, that's a very good point, by the way. People should do that. They need to go back if you're, check under your maiden names, because they were passing out names like, lemon drops and lollipops at the back of a float in a parade. That's what they were doing. Yeah, pathology on a stick. Zach, election fraudsters should get a very long sentence as a deterrent to future fraudsters. Dude, yes, absolutely. We're talking big crime, man. We're talking big crime. You got to do it. Google search results for election fraud penalties. That's a great point, by the way. And I can't believe I didn't bring that up. That before the election, in the states that are right now being contested, you had major time spikes in the questions relating to election fraud penalties. What's the crime for that? What are the penalties for that? Those search results, boom, through the roof. And I wonder why. Boy, kind of weird. Almost wonder why. Not surprising. Not surprising that it just so happens to be the places that are currently being reviewed. The places that, the left is going, they don't exist. They don't exist. Those exact same places. Yeah, right there. Right there. If you take away Biden fake and propped votes, Trump has the most votes than of any president with 71 million. Obama had 69. And that right there is a fact, by the way. That's what it was. By the way, Zach says, I don't think Jake Tapper mentioned Trump staffers. I think he was trying to intimidate every Trump supporter. Yes, because he's part of that satanic cabal, along with not so ladylike Jennifer Rubin, the Nazi Jew who's going around and being like, hey, you know what? We're going to go after all of you. You're not even going to be allowed in polite society. I'm going to be an authoritarian whack job. That's exactly what it is. They're in cahoots. They're in cahoots with each other. Jay Lebrecht says Biden is going to be a silent president, not going to do jack. That's a possibility. Says, do you think Trump collected evidence before the election? That's a good question. I think that they're, I'm really hesitant to play the, 4D chess thing. I'm really hesitant to do that. To say that, well, he knew it was coming. He was doing this. There's like there's a tendency for a lot of people to do that. And they did it with a lot of different things. And it just simply has not been true on a number of things that would have been great, for example, if Trump would have acted in the way that the 4D chess people insist that he's going to. And it almost plays into this idea that maybe Trump is a time traveler. I've seen the videos, by the way. I've seen it's interesting, even a little bit suspicious. I'll grant that. I'll grant it's a little bit suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, little Baron Trump. the whole, socialists outside Trump Tower, all that stuff. The Tesla connection to the family. Whew, man. Unbelievable. Yeah. So, okay, but we're going to end with this. Okay. Joe Biden, president-elect. The people who put Biden in office are aspiring totalitarians and their unwitting brainwashed tools. Never underestimate the deadly seriousness of aspiring totalitarians. If you're not following American greatness, you got to do it. I love it. It's one of my favorites, right? Is it Victor David Hansen or Victor Davis Hansen? I think it's Victor Davis. He's over there. He's part of that project. By Bruce Barr. Almost nobody said, hey, wait. That's, to me, what a line. Talking about with the election and how the election was done, how, the whole night, the way things go, and the way that they're just coronating him right now. They're coronating him. They're coronating Kamala. They're going through the whole rigmarole, doing it all as if there's no contest at all, as if there's no accusations being made, as if there's no margin to look at it. It ain't going away. It's inevitably going to go to court, and these same groups are going to have to talk about it, but it's all part of their scheme. But who said, wait a second? In the mainstream media, Fox News, we saw that one person talking about it, the one lady saying, look, you can't just call it, it's being contested. And you got the lady over at Fox giving her the old devil eye, saying, we called this, Trace. We called this. Ugh. Venomous woman, by the way. Gross person. The whole thing was bizarre. Trump is not conceded. In several states, the numbers are very much in doubt. It's getting hard to keep track of all the claims regarding fraud. Yet the media and the political cultural establishment generally all bought into it. They did. They don't even want to make it. They don't even want to make it this idea that, well, maybe there's something to it. No. It is close your eyes, lullaby, go to sleep. Go to sleep, little babies. It's what it is. For so many people. How many people do you know, by the way, who are doing this? How many people do you know are lulled to sleep? Like suckling at their mother's breast. Sitting there, getting the warmth in the throat. Looking up with those fawning eyes and seeing the future. Also seeing the past. On Sunday, I looked at the Wikipedia page titled, President-elect of the United States. And it says this. I've mentioned this already. I said, look up the definition. Check this out. Here is what it says on Wikipedia. Quote, if the result of an election is unclear or disputed, no person is normally referred to as president-elect until the dispute is resolved. End quote. Next to this sentence, of course, is a picture of Joe Biden. Do you see? Do you see the doublespeak? Do you see the cognitive dissonance riddling these people's minds? And it's on full display on an authoritative site. Remember, anytime we talk about Freemasons, anytime we talk about climate change, anytime you talk about all of these things that the New World Ordites, that they support, and they don't like what you're saying all the wrong words, in all the wrong ways, with all the wrong tone and everything else. When they do that, a lot of times they'll put Wikipedia right beneath it. And people go, well, it's Wikipedia. It's like Snopes. Snopes, Wikipedia. Unbelievable. And next to the sentence is a picture of Joe Biden with a caption that says, quote, as of November 7th, 2020, Joe Biden of Delaware is the president-elect of the United States. Yay! Wrong. Yay! Wrong. You're wrong. And we can't get mad when people don't know this. They can't see this. They struggle. Most people do. Most people, to be quite frank, are rather dumb, which is why democracy is so problematic. It's one of the many reasons why democracy is so problematic. And it's why checks and balances are really important. In fact, it's why a free market is actually really important. It's true. But there's a question as to forgive and forget. Biden was not alone in pushing this forgive and forget line. On Facebook, the page is filled with memes like this. Quote, don't lose friendships today over two men who don't even know your names. It's okay to have different political views and still be okay with each other. That's actually true, but it's insufficient. And for reasons he says that he respectfully dissents, right? These people, however pure their intentions, were calling for forgiveness without repentance. And that's why I said that I partially agree with this, because I couple that with the idea that you have to take a knee for Jesus Christ. You have to take a knee for Jesus. You have to stop with the rant genocide of black babies, the rant genocide of babies. You have to be opposed to that. You cannot support the knifey knife, slice of little boys' crotches and little girls' breasts. You can't do that. It's grotesque sin. It's a slippery slide to, HE double hockey sticks. It's a fast track to a lake of fire. Don't fall for it. And if you have fallen for it and you claim, look, this is actually bad. If somebody claims to be a Christian and yet they believe in that stuff, they're like, oh, abortion, yeah, totally legit. Oh, yeah, man, contracepting kids out of existence, totally legit. Cutting little weenies, cutting breasts off of boys, girls to turn them into boys when they're little, playing video game in the brain with their gender and everything else, that's perfectly fine. If they believe that kind of stuff and they claim to be a Christian, they're actually worse than the person who doesn't claim to be a Christian and believes that sort of thing. In fact, they're in a more dangerous place. Their level of culpability is much higher. I know people like that, by the way. And the message is always the same. Take a knee for Jesus Christ. Repent of your sins. Repent of this wickedness, because there's only two ways that this is going to go. The history of civilizations proves this. There's not even a doubt. You look and you say, how do these civilizations play themselves out when you have a clash, an intersection that's volatile, so hot like it is right now? There's two ways. There's violent revolution, or there's massive repentance that leads to a kind of revival. That's what it is. That's what it is. As for former White House, it was asking Trump voters, right? People calling us deplorables and everything else. This idea about repentance, and saying that you have this year-long coup attempt, the rhetoric about deplorables, and finally, yes, the voter fraud. It was asking Trump voters to believe that if they only affirmed the idea that Biden had won, then their longtime Democratic tormentors would shed socialism, corporations would drop globalism, the deep state would quit its partisan perfidy, and journalists would go back to being journalists. Maybe even more than that, that people would stop doing cancel culture. But it's all a lie. It's all a lie from beginning to end, all through and through. It's completely a lie, and you cannot be bedazzled by the lie. Don't be bedazzled. Don't be tricked. They aren't giving this up. In fact, they're talking about mandate. And I don't agree with Ari Fleischer all the time. That's for sure. But he was right to say this: resist, overturn, boycott, surveil, leak, impeach. And now they tell us it's time to heal. Where were they these last 4 years? They were defending the most anti-American stuff on the planet. They were engaged in the most anti-American stuff on the planet. The kind of stuff that destroys republics. Republics cannot survive this sort of thing. It's not a magic fairy tale. It's something you must fight for. And they don't even believe the fundamental things anymore that allow us to actually connect with each other, that allow us to have a shared sense of value, a shared sense of history. Nothing. It's gone. We're now in these segregated groups. We're in the bubbles, we're in the silos, and they're sitting there saying, "Oh, it's okay that we're in the silos. We're going to be able to talk to each other. It's now time to listen." What they mean by that is listen and obey. What they mean by that is listen and absorb. Don't do it. Never. Never, ever, ever, never, never. It's a cult. It's an authoritarian, totalitarian cult. It's a death cult. It's a cult from the abyss, of the abyss, and to the abyss. Do not be mesmerized by the magic, because it's black magic. And they're coming after you anyway. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, also known as GLAAD, has a thing called the Trump Accountability Project, which, quote, catalogs the anti-LGBTQ statements and actions of President Donald Trump and those in his circle for the benefit of journalists and others, which, by the way, is one of the disagreements that I had with Trump, being the first president to enter office as a supporter of same-sex marriage, the first to hire an openly gay cabinet member, and the first to spearhead a campaign to rid the world of anti-gay laws. Yeah, he was a raging homophobe. Just a raging homophobe. These people, as I said, are insane. AOC wants to archive all of the sycophants, right? Add me to that list. Add me to, if I'm not already on it. I'm on here every day doing this. On here every day. Jennifer Rubin, like we talked about. The Nazi. Any Republican now promoting rejection of the election or calling to not follow the will of the voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. I bet you do. I bet you do. And the thing is, to pretend that these people are joking, that's suicidal. It's suicidal. In fact, it said right here, Rubin was more insistent the next morning. She said, it's not only that Trump has to lose, but that all his enablers have to lose. We have to level them, because if there are survivors, if there are people who weather this storm, they will do it again. And you know what? She's talking about me. She's talking about you, because guess what? We are survivors. We've survived all this time as beautiful losers, those in flyover country that nobody even cares about, that the political establishment completely screwed over and over and over and over and over again, and we ain't having it anymore. We ain't having it anymore. We know the enemy. We know the enemy. And we know our friends. We know our friends, man. And we know what we got to do to survive. Country boy can't survive, man. Straight up. But I'm not one of those escapists, man. Tim Gordon, he was on earlier, man. I agree with him. You know, I don't agree with him all the way on Rod Dreher, some of his articles. I like some of Rod Dreher's articles. I grant that he's an apostate. I mean, that's just a fact. But the idea of the Benedict option, right? This kind of escapism that says we gotta escape and do this kind of regrouping thing, and then we can come back out. I'm not with him on that. I believe we must take over the cities. We have to take over the cities. We have the rural areas right now. We got to take over the cities. We have to save the republic. And the republic is a mix of city and of land, of city and of farm country, of large institutions and of country homes and country churches. It's the whole enchilada. We got to do it. Yeah. Unbelievable. Here's the thing. When she said that, when Rubin said that, nobody on AM Joy, she's a lying scumbag. She is. She's a nasty woman. She's a total liar, right? But anyway, nobody on the panel challenged her. Nobody. Of course not. Know your enemy, guys, and know your friends. So no, it doesn't quite seem a moment for reconciliation. Turn the other cheek to these people, and they'll finish you off and move on to the next chump. No, they've made it clear that if Biden does take office, they'll be even more vicious and arrogant in power than when they were out of power. Yes, obviously, for multiple reasons. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. But it does take someone resolved to not fall asleep when the establishment is singing the lullaby, to get you back into that place of being as calm as a Hindu cow, right? It's peaceful. It's pacified. Which means that we need to stand up more firmly than ever for freedom in America. Today, no more. The people who put Biden in office are aspiring totalitarians, and their unwitting brainwashed tools. Never underestimate the deadly seriousness of aspiring totalitarians. Never. I love you guys, by the way. I mean it, dude. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for all of you. I'm grateful because you help me not only, every morning to wake up and know that this right here, to wake up and know that there are others out there that are resolved to take a knee for Jesus Christ, to submit their lives from beginning to end for Christ the King, to be resolved in their heart that no matter how hard things get, no matter how difficult the world is, no matter how bad your day's going, that you're going to howl at the sun. You're going to howl to heaven in prayer every single day, and you're going to be grateful for the day that the Lord has made. I'm grateful for all of that. Grateful for all of you. So, all right, last comments here. We're way over time. Steve Perez, how would you like it if we make oak of sounds when you mention the Bible, pal? We don't, because God gave us eyes to see and ears to hear. Stop making fools of his gifts, I suggest. I don't even know what you're talking about. What is ook of sounds? Make ook of sounds. What does that even mean? Let's find out what that means, by the way. What does that even mean? Whenever you mention the Bible, I mention the Bible. It'd be really great because the Bible is part of sacred tradition. It plays a very vital role in the Christian worldview. And the Christian worldview is the only view that actually makes sense of the world. Let's see. Oh, vomit sounds. Okay. You want to make vomit sounds whenever I mention the Bible? Really? You're a weirdo. Yeah, see, again, know your enemy, guys. That right there, that's a person. That's a person that, how would you like it if we made puking sounds when you mention the Bible? What are you talking about? What Bible verse? Are you talking about the idea of choppy chop wieners off of kids? Is that what you're talking about, Steve? Is that what you're talking about? Where's your eyes to see and ears to hear on that? Let me know. Because, I can actually find places in there that basically say that you're a raging lunatic on a slippery slide to hell. I can find that. Yeah, stop making fools of his gifts, I suggest. I suggest you start, not using passive-aggressive sentence structures. And just whap them away. They're not even... You ain't even tough, dude. You ain't even hard. You ain't even hard, man. I wonder if Joe Biden is black, maybe at heart. Yeah, okay. Kathy be good. Jesus is king. Yeah. Lowell says no quarter. Don't give him any quarter. No, don't, man. We are on this. We are on this, marching forward to victory. No matter what. No matter if Trump wins, if Trump loses. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because we follow the Lord. Jeremiah, is there a Catholic equivalent to Sun Tzu? That'd be a really great question. A really great question. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. Destiny Totten. Hey, yeah, I love those little hearts with those stars. Okay. Anna Soltero, I voted for Biden. I pray for the best man to win this election. So maybe that is why Biden won the election. Yeah, see, there's a lot of people who, have that kind of voodoo nonsense. Like, basically, let me just break this down for everybody. So Anna Soltero believes that because she prayed for this, that because that happened, maybe that's why. So in other words, if she didn't pray, then maybe, and this is what's called solipsism, like realities in this person's brain. It's actually dangerous, not just to, themselves. It's actually dangerous to the republic at large. To believe that you have a significant number of people who believe in solipsistic thought that, reality is in my brain. If I didn't do that, it's like the butterfly effect. Because ultimately, guess what? It came down to you, Anna. It came down to you and your support of guys who like to, cut wieners off of little kids and cut breasts out of little girls to make it so they'll never be able to breastfeed again. You're okay with the whole idea of baby murder. Maybe you should take a field trip there, you sick freak. Maybe you should. Maybe you should, Anna. You know, it's one of those things. If you really believe that, you know, then why don't you go comprehensive sex education? Why don't you go take a field trip and you can show all the different procedures and see the little baby parts and stuff. I'm sure that wouldn't bother you. I'm sure that it wouldn't freak everybody out and make people wonder if you're an absolute crazy person. Yeah. Again, guys, when you hear this stuff, it's easy to get really like, oh no, another person didn't like something I said. Oh no, another person believes this diabolical satanic worldview crap. Look, don't freak out by that. Don't freak out by that. You know, nail them down, walk away. Swat them away, walk away. You have bigger things to do than to deal with people who support the genocide of babies, support the mutilation of little boys and little girls. She's probably contracepting herself out of existence anyway. It's a punishment from God. It's a punishment from God that the evil do that, because ultimately their scheme will eventually be foiled, because statistically the probability that a group that is aborted, and it doesn't matter how they try to preserve it, if they say, well, we're going to preserve it with totalitarian power and by force, good luck with that. We have a history that shows how that works out. We have an entire history that shows how that works out. Or we are going to do deconversion. It doesn't matter. If you deconvert everybody and all of a sudden now you are a global group, you're still aborting your kids out of existence. You're going to have to simply, and, you know, pee-pee in the poo-poo kids out of existence. That's what you guys are going to do. And so that's okay. You guys are going away. It's a matter of time. That's God's punishment to you and to your depravity. Please take a knee for Jesus Christ, because he's King of Kings and Lord of Lords. End of story. End of story. And end of show, by the way. I'm really grateful. I got to get the kids down here real quick. We went way. This is the longest show I've ever done. It's the longest show on this that I've ever done. I'm really grateful for all of you. Make sure. Got to have the family come on down. Come down. They're going to have to do it. Let's go to the memes real quick. Why not? Okay, transition. I'll show you this one. I'll show you maybe two while they're coming down, okay? So you got... yeah. Okay. Where's the words to it? Do they have any? Okay, me. Hey, babe, I parked my new gun in the barn. Lauren, what do you mean parked? Oh, yeah. Dude, that's how I feel right now. We're going to have to go... I might go full libertarian, dude, on the whole gun thing. I got this from a viewer. If 2020 was a slide... It's how it feels, man. That's how it feels. It's exactly how it feels, man. Just dropping off the rest of the ballots. She's a perfect foil, by the way. She's a perfect foil for all of that. And okay, this is the last one. That's how we gotta be, guys. Are they coming down? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, come on down. Come on. You gotta hurry. What? Athens in class? Tell him to wait a second, man. Tell him to come down right now. I know he is, man. It's very important. They'll forgive us, right? Wolfgang's sleeping. Again. Wolfgang's sleeping again. Dude. Okay, and by the way, everybody, let's go ahead and get it back to main. Or back to this one. Let's see here. Video capture. Yeah, I don't want to have music play while I'm transitioning. Okay. So there we go. So split screen. Yeah, I'm not going to do that yet. So I want to thank everybody, by the way. Again, I'm super grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for being able to start days like this. I'm grateful for every moment of every day that I have with Holy Faith Media, with all the different channels that have played it. And I'm grateful for all of the subscribers. We're being just blown away by subscribers. Here, you want me to hold him? He wants. Yeah, lose it. All right. Okay, I got the whole gang here. Look at this, man. Look at that. Look at this. Except for Wolfgang. Oh, that's so upsetting. So, all right. We are going to say goodbye. I've got to switch this over. And when I do, I've got 1 minute. Because I think I've timed it to about 1 minute. So here we go, guys. love this show. I love these kids. Remember, it's why we do it. It's why we do what we do, not just for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children. World without end. We give it everything we've got to provide not only the safety, not only the security, but also an example that this is how you live out your life for the Lord. This is how you make battle against the army of darkness. It's what you do. You give it everything you got. So remember, make sure to go to paleocratdiaries.com. You can subscribe. You can become a member, $5. You can also Cash App. I am money symbol, Paleocrat, tons of fun. If you'd like to interview me, if you'd like to be interviewed, if you would like to have me come and do speeches or even debate, I'm down, son. You want to do that? Email me, paleocratdiaries@gmail.com. Subscribe to Paleo Cheese, Meaning of Catholic, the entire thing. And remember, as we always say, never give up. Keep on smiling. And memento mori. If I don't talk into microphones, I don't make that mad cash. Making all that money. Making that mad loot, right?
Mind control.
So we see the minority elite imposing their ideology on an unwilling and resentful populace. This causes a backlash. People get ticked off. The left is working long and hard to make us feel as if we've done something wrong. Worse yet, that we are the problem. Don't let people just rip on your heritage. Don't let people just rip on your traditions. Don't let people rip on your heroes. Stand up for what you believe, what made you who you are. So unless this disenfranchised majority begins standing up for what they believe in their heart of hearts to be true, I think we'd be left with nothing more than a dirge and maybe a funeral procession.